That's crazy.
What a year. What a year.
My weekends have just been like completely consumed with fucking Marvel shit for like a year. Dude, a year of my life. I'm never getting this year back, bro.
Nope. It was worth it, though.
Yeah, well, to you, maybe.
For sure. Yeah.
To me, I'm like, I don't know, bro. If the culmination was fucking Endgame, was it really worth it to me? I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
I know. It's
No,
you know,
I'm
and you know what's so funny about Endgame
what?
is that I was like talking to Allison. This is no bullshit, 100%. I was talking to Allison, and she was like, "So Dan actually just like really likes this shit."
Okay.
And I was like, "Dude, not only does he like this shit, he said that Endgame was like in his top 5 movies."
No, I said top 10.
Top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
And like after watching Endgame, I'm like, I don't know about that one, Dan. I'm not sure, buddy.
No, dude. Endgame.
Oh,
It just
fuck.
doesn't hit. It doesn't hit when you're watching it on the TV screen. It's like,
Maybe that's what's up. Maybe if I was like in theaters,
Yeah.
you know. But even then, I wouldn't have enjoyed it because I would have been around people who enjoyed it, and it would have made me enjoy
You
it.
would have
Yeah,
left.
that's
You
the
would have
thing.
left, actually. Like, if
Yeah,
you would have
maybe.
heard people cheering in the audience for Endgame, you would have left, I think.
Dude, I can't live like that.
Yeah,
I
know.
can't, bro.
I know.
You know, I watched the new Scream movie in theaters, you know, maybe like a week or two ago. And there was even this guy next to me, completely silent the entire. Have you ever seen Scream, either of you?
yeah, I've
Scream?
seen the first one.
All right, well, okay. Well, basically, so Scream and the sequels, what you need to know, little crash course, is they all basically follow a formula, which is, of course, there's a killer named Ghostface. It's one of the main cast of people, but you don't know who it is. And this person's going around killing everyone, and it's almost sort of like a satirical meta view of horror movies, right? I didn't think the new one was that good, frankly, but whatever. But Allison really wanted to see it, so I went. And so there's this guy just sitting next to me, quiet the entire time, didn't make a goddamn peep, just watch. And then when it gets towards the end of the movie and the killer is revealed, not going to spoil it, but after the killer's revealed, he said under his breath, "I knew it." And I almost walked out of the theater. At that point, I was like, "Shut up! Shut the fuck up!" It's like that was enough for me to be like, you know what? I'm getting my shit, and I'm like, you know, it's like because now I'm like, there's this guy next to me who's talking. You know, he didn't say anything else either, but just that one thing, it just made me so fucking angry. I just wanted to strangle him right there in the theater. But I didn't, because we live in a polite society. I have self-control. So I instead just sat there and fumed silently until Allison and I left. And then I berated her in the car
Yeah, of course.
on the way home. I took out all my
And
aggression.
then beat her down. Yeah.
Yeah, I
exactly.
beat her down like I do. That's kind of,
Normally.
you know, canonically, yeah, normal. It's just, you know, what can I say? Normal
Yeah,
Saturday
dude.
night in the Christian household.
I need you to watch this.
Okay.
I need you
What
to.
am I- what am
It's
I-
1
what am I
minute
watching?
long.
Wait, what is?
Live reaction. Okay.
Oh my god.
So-
okay, I'm gonna go
so
get something
the-
at the front door. You can enjoy this really quick.
Okay, thank you. So the for the podcast listener out there, Dan has just linked me a thing, a YouTube link, Avengers Endgame, Cap lifting Mjolnir, audience reaction. I'm
Yep.
popping this open right now. Okay, it's a 1 minute long. Okay. He's getting, oh God, there's already people yelling at the screen. He's about, okay, it's the part where he's about to stab Thor,
With
kind of like how
Stormbreaker.
Thor stabbed him in,
Sure.
oh God. And people are losing their minds.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Mjolnir flies, Captain America. Holy, do people are actually jumping out of their seats and screaming? This is sad. This is not.
No,
this is like
no.
not okay.
No, you know
This is
what?
this is
no,
this
no,
is
no.
bad. Dude.
I have thoughts,
this is
but
like,
watch,
this is
watch
fucked
when
up.
watch when Cap gets the hammer.
Right, I just did.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, well,
Yeah,
no,
it's
but
what-
why
it's
is
what-
that sad? Why? Hold on. Why is
Yeah.
it sad?
Okay.
That a group of people are having such a good time that you have probably never had that good of a time in your life.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably true that I've never had that good of a time in my life. Why is that sad? Because it's not cool. You know what I mean? Because it's lame.
Yeah. Oh, well, sorry. Of course.
Because that's just like,
that's
like mouth breathy normie shit. I don't know. It's not cool, dude. I like cool shit.
Yeah, I'm sure you're the definition of what is cool in society.
You know what? Thank you very much. I've also often labeled myself as that. No, I mean, I don't know, man. People can like sort of enjoy whatever they want. I just think that it's just not for me, dude. I just like see shit like this and I'm just like, man, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like all these people live very hollow lives. And maybe that's unfair of me and maybe they don't, but that's what I think.
Or maybe they live lives that are super fulfilling because they have content and media created for them that they enjoy so much that you will never have that experience.
Yeah, maybe, but it's sort of like the people that are like hooked up in the Matrix and their batteries, and then they realize that they're batteries, but then they're like, "Oh, this is fine. I'll just live like this forever," you know. And that's not cool. You know what I mean? You can do that, but it's not cool. That's not a cool thing to do.
Yeah, because when you die, you go to a gate, and it's not the pearly gates. It's a gate where there's a guy at the door. He's a bouncer, and he says, "How cool were you in life?" And
that's
then,
true. And you know what? And the guy at the door, it's me.
Yep.
By the way,
exactly.
And
yeah.
Guess what,
the
Dan?
Gatekeeper.
I'm not letting you in. Not letting you in,
I
buddy.
know.
Sorry.
I go into the movie theater in the sky, which is just me and a billion other people reacting to that
screaming.
1 minute clip forever.
Oh fuck, dude. Here's the deal. If I'm being like completely honest,
man.
right? I get it. I do. I genuinely get it. Like, and maybe that was the point of the podcast, right?
Sure.
Is because I think going into this, I'm like, I don't really get it. Now sitting here at the end, I'm like, I get it, comma. I don't like it though.
You know what? That's
but I understand.
Yeah, and now you understand where a ton of like cultural important moments have happened through memes and through like other things across the internet.
This was Meme
and
Central, the movie.
yeah, there were a lot of things.
back-to-back memes all the way through.
Totally.
Yeah, crazy.
Although I will say that if it had kept the tone of Infinity War, this could have been a really cool movie that I actually enjoyed, as opposed to because like there's Infinity War and it's just like kind of gritty and like gnarly and like serious and jaded, and then you kind of get into Endgame and it's like campy Marvel antics again, you know, and I'm just like, eh.
I think we're about to get into that because I have some initial thoughts on what you were thinking when we started. Okay. Yeah, what I was thinking was that, we've been doing this now. This is episode 24, and we are on the last MCU movie of the Cape Shit podcast.
Right.
We still have a recap. We got a bonus episode. We got another bonus episode coming your way. But
and another bonus episode?
No, I already counted that one.
Well, we have a recap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, bonus episode.
Bonus episode. Yeah, two.
Back to you, Dan. You're right.
I know how to do math. It's fine.
100%.
And so what I was thinking was, when we first started this a year ago, we recorded a little intro trailer, which we thought might have been the thing we played at every start of every podcast, but then instead just to wing it every time. But it gives you a little idea of what we thought this podcast was going to be, which was way more structured, way more organized, and way more scripted. Turned out not to be like that.
Right, and also like more like I don't even necessarily want to say advertiser friend, because I don't think that our goal was ever to like that, but I think that we definitely like a big like theme of conversation was essentially me talking to John and Dan, and them correctly, by the way, but especially Dan kind of being like, okay, your brand is really to just say off the wall offensive shit and then laugh when people get angry about it.
Sure.
But we're trying, but this is Marvel, so we got to tone it down a little bit. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. It's a good point. All right, we're all friends here, not trying to whatever, throw out anything that you two wouldn't want your names attached to. And but I think we've even sort of seen, like, as the podcast has crept on, probably a little bit of those old classic grizzly guy antics have slipped in. Although I will say, for the listener, not to peel back the curtain, there have been many times on episodes where I've listened back to something that I've said and then been like, oh, I gotta edit that out.
Yep.
And then I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just so you know, all right, I'm still thinking about you.
Yeah, well, it has been, I've heard some of them. It's not great.
Oh, you've heard all of them.
Well, yeah, but then I tried to
there.
block them from my memory, and then you showed them to me again, and just
Right, my
had to
favorite,
experience
to peel
it.
back the curtain again, I'm not even going to get into specifics, but I think the most notable one was the Make-A-Wish kid
Oh,
rant.
my God. the Batman, yes.
Yep.
I had to
I
cut out,
remember
like,
that one.
I had to cut out like 15 minutes of that podcast.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
What the fuck? It was so funny. Okay, anyway. All right.
So I figure let's start off this podcast here with the original intro that we recorded for
Yes, sir.
Cape Shit.
Oh, I gotta watch this again.
My name is Dan, and I really enjoy the MCU and how they all connect together.
My name is Christian, and I've never seen a superhero movie, nor have I ever wanted to.
My name's John, and I am the most normal person here.
Together, we're going to watch through the MCU and talk about how much we liked it.
Or how much it sucks.
Or maybe a little bit of both.
This is Cape Shit.
This is Cape Shit.
This is Cape Shit. Wow.
I feel like that was like a corporate motivational type of...
I know. It's
Yeah.
like actually like not good. Like hearing that back, I'm just like, oh, I don't like that. Sucks that that's how we
you know
fucking...
what? That was a fun. It was a fun thing to like try to plan
true.
out. But you know, the amount of pre-work we do for this is, I think we all watch it one time and then we just wing the entire thing. So for us to have,
of course.
I think we spent at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, like figuring out the script, recording the parts, doing all that just for about a 45-second intro.
Yeah.
But everything,
Totally, yeah.
we've never put as much effort into anything else. Oh, God.
No, although I will say, I'm pumped to not have to spend 4 fucking hours of my weekend editing these goddamn podcasts soon. Soon I am free, and then I never have to do that again, which will be very nice.
Sure.
All right, so hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Christian. Welcome back to the final episode of Cape Shit, except for the fact that we also have one more episode, and then one more episode, and then one more episode.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
this is the last episode where we're reviewing a movie, and of course, the movie is a little something called Infinity War games. It's the
Infinity War
it's
games.
the Infinity War games, starring Chris Hemsworth as Captain America. We got ourselves
Jesus
a nice
Christ.
case
Here we
of
go.
Mark Ruffalo. He's reprising his role as Captain. I don't know. Wait, which one's actually Captain? Wait, hold on. No,
Chris
wait. Before we even
Evans?
well, hold. I don't care. Hold on. Before we actually get into
Didn't
that.
you know he's doing a bit? Shut up.
Like our podcast, by the way, it's the
Jesus.
last time you're ever going to have the opportunity to do so. We're here. This is it. We never got
Except
that
for
Kratom
the 3
sponsorship.
more, except for the 3 more episodes.
Oh, we could potentially get a Kratom sponsorship on one of the next 3 episodes, and that would be would be
true.
pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because winners eat Kratom. That's what I've always said.
Personally, I've always said that, but on my Squarespace website. So,
Right.
You know,
Oh, for
and
sure.
because they're so easy to make, it's just
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what
and-
I use Squarespace on? My VPN. Thanks, NordVPN.
Wow.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
of
actually
course.
incredible. These are all conversations that I had with my therapist on BetterHelp.
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
But I kept showing her my dick, and she kept saying, "Hey, you know what? This is really more of a Blue Chew kind of situation. So you should probably
Okay.
get sponsored by them." It's the who cares? Who gives a fuck? Who fucking cares? It's the last episode, Dan. What are they gonna do? All right,
I'm
come
trying
for
to
me
get
on
that
the You're gonna stop
NordVPN,
listening?
okay? I'm trying
You
to get
stop
the
listening
NordVPN.
now? Huh?
Yeah.
You fucking
can't-
pigs? All right.
Okay. You can't
Yeah,
stop
listen,
listening
dude.
now. You don't have
All right,
a choice.
all right, you little piss piggies out there listening
Okay,
to. You're done now.
All right,
okay,
all right.
motherfuckers.
Jesus Christ.
Just kidding. I don't really think you're a piss piggy. Well, some of you probably, but again, just kidding. Probably none of you, but maybe. I don't know.
All right.
There's
well,
a lot of people
so
listening
that
to this
was
podcast.
that was a great intro. Thank you so much for that, Christian.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I appreciate that. That was really fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Well, look, we're just gonna go over some quick things, and then we're gonna hop right into it because I have a feeling there's a lot to talk about with this movie.
We got a lot to talk about in
Would it
regards
make
to
you-
this movie that we all watched last night. It was called Avengers Endgame. I just wrote that song
Bravo,
for you,
bravo.
and back to you, Dan.
I think your California song was better. Just
think so, too.
personally, I think it was.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
You know
just
what? I
had a little bit
appreciate.
more feeling to it.
I appreciate the
This
note.
movie is the number 2 highest grossing movie of all time at $2.8 billion. It was number 1 for like a year and a half. And then
So
Avatar decided to
weighted the
do.
water.
No. Avatar 1, they decided to re-release it in
Yeah.
theaters so that they could beat Avengers Endgame on the highest grossing films of all time.
Wait, really?
Yep.
And then like
fucking
Titanic
passed
got
them.
re-released also, and then
Dude,
Titanic
movies are
crept back
dumb.
up to like top
Yeah.
3 again or something.
So
like that.
Avatar is now at 2.9 billion and
yeah.
Avengers Endgame is at 2.8
Deserved.
billion.
Are you actually serious that they just
Yes.
released it? Dude, that's
Yeah.
so fucking stupid. Everyone in Hollywood needs to like get fought. I fucking do not like any of these people, dude.
Yep.
Goddamn. But
Yeah, it came out April 26, 2019 and was filmed back to back with Avengers Infinity War. So it was all recorded at the same time. It was directed by your favorites, Anthony and Joe Russo.
Yeah.
And
did
there
you know
were
they're brothers?
Yeah, they are brothers. Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you knew that.
I didn't until you
No,
just told me
yeah.
now.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
sure.
okay. That's my little contribution to the podcast.
Yeah.
Little Marvel fun facts with Christian, Anthony, and Joe Russo. They are actually, in fact, brothers.
Sure.
That's
Back
crazy.
to you, Dan.
Yeah. It was kind of wild seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff here because with how many people they had in this movie, they actually had them there. So the big like scene where they all rush Thanos at the end of Endgame, like all of those actors were there in the studio at the same time recording this. It wasn't like they pieced them one by one through a green screen. Which was
speaking
just
of, I just this is probably like the smallest thing possible. But at the funeral, do you know if they were all there for the funeral?
yes.
Okay, because it's like there's some posing thing where Captain Marvel is just like standing by herself on the steps and
Yeah.
not with Nick Fury, and I was like, did they comp her in for that, or like what
It
is
was
going on?
supposed to be like a weird reveal of like Nick walking in at the end. It was
Yeah, that
weird.
was so
Dude,
weird,
I know
bro.
we're definitely jumping ahead, but that was fucking stupid. God damn, that was
Okay,
so dumb.
all
That
right.
funeral scene, bro? Like, what the fuck was that?
Well, let's hop into this because my
Yeah, let's hop-
guess, and you can
Right.
tell me if I'm wrong, because at the start when you were talking about it's very Marvel-y, my guess is you liked this movie until it said 5 years later. I feel like
Even that.
No?
I'm gonna be real with, and I see why you would think that.
Yeah.
And rationally, I even think you're right. I'm even gonna knock myself a little bit. Perhaps I should have. However, this movie opens with Hawkeye, and so I was already in a really bad mood, and then it just never got better. I think if we had opened. Right?
You did get to see Hawkeye get taken down a peg here, which we start off with Hawkeye and his
which is
family.
fun. Okay, but
Sure.
okay. So check this out.
Uh-huh.
Right? My notes verbatim. Normally, I don't read my notes verbatim.
sure.
I'll read
Right.
them verbatim though. Says Endgame starts with a bow. I hope his stupid fucking daughter dies. That's the second. That's the second note I had, and I was
Technically,
correct.
she doesn't die. She gets
Right.
willed out of existence.
Which is also annoying. This is what I would do if I was writing the scene. Okay, I had a way to make that scene, because they do the thing. They kind of do like the cop out, where it's like she gets dusted, but like not in front of Hawkeye, and then Hawkeye's like, "Where's my family?" But there's this part where he's like, he's like kind of showing her how to like shoot a bow. And he's like, hey, can you see now? And she's like, ah, and he's kind of like waving her hair in her face. And it's like, how about now? And I was like, if I was directing this movie, she's like, Dad, what I would have done would still have the can you see now, thing. And he's like waving the hair in front of her face. She's like, ha ha. And then he lets go and she's like, Dad, I can't see. And he's like, ha ha ha, like still thinks it's like a part of the joke. She's like, no, I can't. And then she like vaporizes in front of him and then he fucking kills himself. Just kidding.
Okay, well,
also kidding. That's not, but I'm actually not kidding. That is what I would have done.
yeah. Well, I know
I
what
didn't
you
really
would
like
have
this
done.
intro, I guess.
Well, I know that you were missing Hawkeye in the last movie in Infinity War, so we had to start off with a Hawkeye scene.
Yeah.
So
Also, can you guys tell
Yeah.
I'm like so amped that this is the last one that we're doing? This is
Dude,
like the
yeah.
most energy I've ever
I
had in the
know.
podcast. Like, this is
I
it, dude. We're done. We're fucking done. Finally, I'm so
okay,
excited.
but you know
Anyway.
what? This was a fun experience. So don't.
This was. You know what? To be fair, this has been a very. I completely agree with you.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, at least you agree with that. Anyway, so yeah, get dusted, Hawkeye family. And we go into a little bit of a quieter Marvel intro, and then it bumps into a psychedelic rock song. At least that's what the subtitles said.
You
And
watch
we
these
get
with
Tony and
subtitles on?
Nebula stuck in space. What's that?
You watch these with subtitles on?
Yeah, because
That's
I'm
like a,
old.
that's like a big millennial thing. It's like a lot of these motherfuckers like they just watch everything with subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like I've learned that watching with subtitles has gotten me like sometimes these one-off little words or quieter spoken things that maybe I would have missed in the past that I then see with that. So
I understand.
Sure, that's
I don't know.
fair.
Yeah, it's just it's been better for me personally. But yeah, so we're on a ship. If we remember on the last movie, Infinity War, they were stuck on Titan when the Guardians all got dusted and Peter got dusted. And so it was just Tony and Nebula. That was it. It was just them left on Titan. They were able to get a ship, but they basically got nowhere. I mean, they're 7,000 light years away from Earth.
God.
Yeah,
Something
it
like
just
that.
wasn't gonna work.
That's a really long ways, apparently. Or it
Yeah.
isn't. Who fucking knows with the space travel in this? They just sort of throw out
Yeah, they
numbers,
just
and
kinda
then you're
go
like,
places.
oh, okay, I guess that's far, or it isn't.
Yeah, well, if they hadn't have crashed the donut ship, they may have gotten back to Earth.
Right.
But so we get Tony recording a goodbye message to Pepper, and Tony is like, I don't know how they did it because it didn't look like Tony's body was CGI, but I mean, maybe you caught something that I didn't, but man, he was like really
Yeah, he was
thin.
bony.
Yeah.
Really bony and thin. I think the only time where you kind of see that maybe is when he argues with Cap later, but yeah, I just thought they did this really well, like showing how just malnourished Tony was.
I kind of took note of that too, but if this were like a normal length movie, I probably would have remembered to go back and research that afterwards. But since this movie was fucking
It's 3
3
hours
hours
long.
and 5 minutes long,
5 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I forgot. It completely slipped my mind to check it. So I have
Yep.
no answers for you.
Yeah, but
Well-
hey, guess what, Dan? I noticed that too.
Well, that's great. And I know that after the last movie, you were wondering, man, when are we going to see Captain Marvel again? And
You know what?
yeah.
I was I was so damn curious when we were
Yep.
going to see Captain Marvel. I was like, surely she'll show up, right?
Well,
and then
guess what?
Thank God.
It's right now. So there's Captain Marvel in super bright form, and she's going to save Tony and Nebula.
Which, you know what? It's because we just did that whole Captain Marvel podcast, and I was like sitting around being like, you know what? I don't think Captain Marvel was that bad, really. I did not like her at all in this movie. It's weird. I don't know
So-
what like the difference
Yeah.
is in between where she was in her own thing and where she is here. But like here, I'm just like, this
Because
did not
she's-
fucking hit for me at all.
Because she's not fun in this movie. And that's a common
Yeah?
complaint about Captain Marvel in this movie is that she didn't have any like character structure to her. She didn't
Yeah.
like have any personality. It was like,
Yeah,
I'm here
they-
to be a wrecking ball, and then that's it.
They
Right.
filmed this before the movie Captain
Yep,
Marvel,
it was
right?
filmed
Yeah.
before Captain Marvel was filmed.
I
Yeah,
didn't realize
So-
that. Okay.
She
she
probably
has
didn't
kinda
have
like-
any of the character down yet.
yeah.
She kind of has like one banter-y scene with Peter Parker later, and then that's it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very, very minimal. But yeah, to John's point, they didn't really fully know the character yet because they
Right.
hadn't even shot the movie. Because these were filmed back to back, Infinity War and Endgame. But yeah, so then we're put back to Avengers Campus, and you know what? I'm sorry, Cap is shaving his beard and mustache off. He's done with it. You know,
Yep.
It only took Thanos snapping half the world when then he's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna shave now. And so we get a little shaving scene, and then Captain Marvel brings the ship back. Now, look, you can sit here and go, how did she bring the ship back by holding it over 7,000 light years through the world? I have absolutely no
That's
idea
not my
how you would
question.
do that.
My question is like Tony Stark was about to die from like asphyxiation, like no more oxygen in the ship or whatever.
How did they get more oxygen in the
yeah,
ship?
she
Well,
just like
because-
blasts them through space in
Okay.
time for him to not die.
Excuse me, it's guys. It's like we're not even watching the same movie. Captain Marvel has an alien engine Infinity Stone powering her. So she, much like she got her power shooting the engine, it absorbs into her. She then shoots the engine of the ship with her star powers, filling it with enough energy to turn the life support systems back on. Therein making sure that Tony Stark survives the voyage back to Earth.
You know what?
That-
Actually, I think you might be right.
Yep.
That
No, I
would
am.
work, yeah.
I think this podcast has been completely worth it for you to make that kind of a statement.
That's crazy.
Yeah, again,
That's-
disclaimer. I don't like any
Oh,
of
I
it at
love
all.
it.
Really,
I love
but,
it,
I
dude.
mean,
That
I'm
was-
saying
This is what we
that
came
it,
for.
It
Yeah.
doesn't not make sense to me. You know,
Christian explaining Marvel stuff to me is just this is great. I love it.
Right. Also, I will say, I think it's kind of funny that it just like shows all of these like scenes of like Stark and Nebula, and Stark slowly dying, and Nebula's like kind of like, oh no, like sort of accepting the fate, whatever. And then they get to Earth, and then like Rocket is also on the ship too. And it's like, oh, what the
No,
fuck?
Rocket
Where'd you
wasn't
come
on
from?
the ship.
No.
Wait, he wasn't?
No,
No,
he
he
was
was on
he was
Earth.
at Avengers Campus.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, because
Yeah.
when the ship shows up, Rocket's just there now, and I was like, "Fuck, where were you?" But
Yeah,
I didn't.
well,
I didn't
he's
realize
very
he wasn't on
small.
the ship
The
with them.
camera was very high, so he
Got
walked
it.
right by them. You just didn't see it.
That's probably
Yeah.
what's up. Yeah.
It's called framing. It's bad
Yeah.
framing.
Yeah.
Bad framing. Oh, hey, you missed him. Anyway, so yeah, Captain Marvel brings the ship back, and here we've got Pepper, Widow, Cap, War Machine, Bruce, and a hidden Rocket just running around without you realizing it.
Yeah.
This is 23 days after the snap. That they are all here talking about who's been missing. So they're showing all the people who are gone on screen, which is Black Panther and who they think Ant-Man is gone, and
Oh my God, Scott
Parker
Lang.
and Scott Lang. Yeah, Scott Lang.
This. Yeah.
Yep. And this is where we really see how like malnourished Tony is as they sit at the table, and they're really like Tony's losing his mind at Captain America.
Right.
And this is a lot of references back here, which is Tony wanting to build a suit of armor around the world.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and
Hell yeah, brother.
and talking about how Cap said, if we fail, then we'll fail together. I think he said that in Avengers Age of Ultron. And so there were a lot of like moments here they reference back to previous movies.
And maybe that's why this movie sucked. To me, is it's like it was just fucking callback the movie. And I think that if that's the kind of thing that excites you, then then this movie has a lot of that shit. But it's like with this, it's like every time there's a callback, I'm kind of like, ugh. Come on, guys. All right, this is embarrassing. Can we please stop doing this?
Okay.
But it just doesn't stop happening. So by the end, I'm like, shut up. Like,
Well,
shut
I
the
know
fuck
that
up.
the part you loved in this scene is when Tony called Rocket a Build-A-Bear. I know that.
Frankly,
You
that
know.
was my favorite part of the entire movie. I felt like
Yeah,
it all
I-
really went downhill after that.
I thought so. And then your next favorite part is when right here Tony collapses and passes out. I think that
Yeah,
was
after
your...
like ripping the shit off his own chest for some
Yeah,
reason.
and that was really weird to me because
Yeah, me
like
too.
where did the so he just fixed the hole, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that
the
was
hole's
in.
not there.
Remember, that was at the end of Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he fixes the hole, and I'm supposed to believe that there's just like not a hole there anymore. There's not even like scar tissue or anything. He just has the thing sticky to his chest.
Yeah, this
Got
is
some like
the
double-sided
MCU.
tape and just taped it on.
Yeah, I know.
this
Yeah,
is
and then it just goes like bink and like pulls it off. And I
Yeah.
was like, fuck,
was
you
like,
shouldn't be
whoa.
able to do that. What the fuck? Yeah.
No, I
And
mean,
then it's
hey,
like
this
that's
is
the thing that's been powering you this whole time.
this is the world where Rhodes can get paralyzed and then walk a
Very
movie
true.
later. So you know,
Yeah.
I think it's all within reason here.
I also thought that they're like, where's Thanos? We gotta find Thanos. That's Thanos. It's he. Oh shucks. But where
at-
is he?
The Garden.
He's at the garden.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, but how do we get there? And it's like, our scanners indicated that the Infinity Stones were used 2 days ago on this planet. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, if your scanners could, like, why couldn't you find where
Well,
Thanos was?
Because Nebula gave them the general area that he would be.
No, she
then they
didn't.
scanned that.
She
She
doesn't,
said,
by the way.
She
No.
said, I know where he is.
I know where he is, the garden, and then
Yeah.
so
Okay,
maybe
sure.
so maybe some information transpires off
Yeah.
screen that we're not privy to. But all I'm saying is she just kind of is like the garden, and then they show this thing. And they're like, oh yeah, the Infinity Stones were used 2 days ago on this random planet. This must be where he is. And I'm like, well, if you're monitoring. Like, you have, like, Captain Marvel with you. Like, you wouldn't have been
Sure.
like, oh, where the fuck? You would have been like, oh, shit, here he is. It was just weird. Like, it didn't really make sense.
It made a ton of sense to me personally.
really did.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I get if
That's
it was
that-
just too complex for you.
If I was
person-
watching
yeah.
in theaters, that's the part I would have walked out. I would have thrown my hands. I would have said,
No.
this doesn't make any
Yeah.
damn sense. And I would have left.
No, you
I
would have
would've done.
left when somebody
what I would've done.
cheered when Nebula said the garden. That's when.
Ooh.
No,
Wait,
I'm
were
just-
people
nobody
okay?
cheered.
For,
No,
Nobody
no,
cheered.
no,
I'm
no,
saying,
nobody
from your
cheered.
experience, was anybody cheering at this point? Were there,
No.
were there any
No,
cheers?
no.
Okay, this was like still.
No,
what?
actually, a bunch of people stood up and cheered when Hawkeye's family disappeared.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right. That's all.
They said Christian was right. And so, okay.
Dude, all I'm saying is like, now anytime I see Hawkeye, I just can't help but think of like Jeremy Renner's social media thing where people are making fake Jeremy Renner accounts being like, I smoke
Yeah.
crack cocaine, I'm Jeremy Renner. And then it's like some hateful trolls.
Dude,
forced me to
Jeremy
turn-
Renner has gone through it in life, man. He has really gone through
Oh,
it.
fuck. That's so fucking funny, dude. I smoke crack cocaine, I'm Jeremy Renner.
Oh, God. All right. Well, the plan is
fuck.
they're just going to go get Thanos and get the stones back and use
right.
them to bring everyone back. And that's the plan.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
the plan.
Cap says, let's go get that son of a bitch.
Oh, my
Language.
God. He does say that, yeah?
That's character progression
Yeah.
right there. Okay.
He's a bad boy now.
Yeah, he's a bad boy. They are
Also-
on a ship headed to Thanos.
But I think maybe like before that happens, I forget. They're like standing in a room, and
Yep.
Iron Patriot's like talking to Captain Marvel, and he just has like a really dumb line. There were a lot of very dumb lines in this movie, and I wrote most of them down. So I'm just gonna be calling out lines that I didn't
Is
like.
it the we're all doing the we're all part of the superhero thing? I forgot what it
it's
was. Yeah.
it's worse that if it was just that, I would have thought to myself, hey, that's fucking stupid, but I wouldn't have written it down. You know what I mean? No. No, what he says is, hey, new girl, everyone in this room is about that superhero life. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what he says. And fucking man, oh boy. And there are so many little disgusting moments like that just sprinkled throughout
This movie was not made for you. Let's
Oh
just
no.
No.
Oh, no.
This movie was made for all the people that spent $2.8 billion to
jeez.
watch it. And this is for the people who there was a guy I think who watched Avengers Endgame in theaters 89 times or something. I think he was
Why?
going for like a world record of like how many times you could watch
That's
it in theater.
not cool. That just brings me
most virgin person alive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just the biggest fucking loser like, Guinness Book of
Okay.
World
Well,
Records.
look, he's listening to this podcast, so just calm down, okay?
I hope he is. I hope
really
he knows
hope
that. I hope he
It's-
knows that's what I think about him.
Yeah, well, there you go. So anyways, they're going off to space now. I know this is I when I watched this again, I enjoyed this movie because this movie was made for me. Like that's
like
just
top
it. I
3
can't
favorite
avoid
movies
it.
of all time.
It's not top 3, I'd say top 10, but anyways.
like top 2, like 1
top
or 2.
10.
Yeah.
So but
all-time
when-
favorite movie, I
When
guess,
Cap said Widow says to Cap, Cap, this is gonna work. And he says, I know it is because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
Dude,
I was like, oh god, Christian is gonna just
I wrote that down.
destroy this.
That was another one that I wrote down. Again, just little disgusteries, I will begin to call them, just sprinkled throughout this fucking, where it's like people say these lines and I'm like, ugh, oh fuck, oh god, gross, like
Yeah.
gee, fucking
Yeah.
Christ. And yeah, that was another. Yeah, I know it will, because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
Yep. So I
No,
will
thanks.
say that watching
gonna
this
host a
movie
support
again,
group.
I do look at it in a different lens after watching these movies with you. Again,
Sure.
Christian ruins movies for Dan.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much.
And so, anyways, they're off into space. Captain Marvel goes and checks out the planet first to see what's going on. There's nothing. There's no armies. There's no defense
Because-
systems.
Because it's just him,
Yeah.
and that's enough.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wait, wait,
you know
another little disgustery.
Tony has a plan. And the
Uh-huh.
plan is to attack. Anyways. No, just kidding. So,
wait. Before we
they-
go on, like
yeah.
this entire like space flight part, I'm just wondering. They have Thor's like axe, which has access
Stormbreaker.
to the Bifrost. So like, couldn't they just Bifrost their way onto the planet instead of taking?
Yeah, but
a
then they
ship?
can't recon. Like, they should start in space to be able to scope it out. Like, they can't Bifrost into space, you know?
Okay, so if they were trying to prepare for a recon and like they were thinking there could possibly be an army on this planet,
Mhm.
Right.
they're really gonna go and attack with like the 7 people on the ship
Yep.
when they
Yep.
almost lost Infinity. I mean, they did lose Infinity War, but
Yep.
seven people on this ship is gonna be enough to kill Thanos this
Plus
time.
Captain Marvel. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, this is what you're forgetting, John. It's a really good movie.
No, top 10 of all time.
All right.
For sure. No,
All
you're
time,
right.
for
You're
sure,
right.
We
yeah.
get the armor
100%.
scarecrow on Thanos' like farm here, where we see his armor on a scarecrow thing, and he picks like a fruit, and he's dressed in like a t-shirt and some pants, and he's very casual, and his arm is burnt to hell from using the Infinity Stones, and then they just all attack him at the same time. Now here's the part where Christian ruins movies for Dan.
Okay. Please.
Bruce is there, and then
He is.
Bruce is in the Hulkbuster armor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did they put the Hulkbuster armor on that small ass ship? He wasn't wearing it in the ship, and we
Yeah.
didn't
He's not,
see
he's
like
not, yeah.
so like where did the Hulkbuster armor come from? Like,
No,
I
it's just like anytime basically since fucking that Wakanda Black Panther, it's like anytime they need Mark Ruffalo to do anything, they're just like, you just get the Hulkbuster now.
well, this is the last time he's going to use it, so
and that's good. And I'm
Yeah.
I'm happy.
But
about it.
also,
It's
his
hopefully it's the last time
Hulkbuster-
anyone's going to use it.
his Hulkbuster armor was halfway stuck inside some rocks at the end of Infinity War. So again, where did this armor come from?
Right.
They
It's
have
the same
multiple-
from Infinity War.
They have multiple suits.
Yeah,
He
maybe.
just asked Captain Marvel to dig it
I
out
mean,
for
he
him.
has
Yeah,
he has nanotechnology, so I mean, nothing's out of the realm of possibility at this point.
Yep. So they all pin him down. Thor chops his arm off, and then they see, the stones are missing. It's just the
no.
gauntlet, and the gauntlet is burnt to a crisp.
Which
and-
okay, can I? I'll say
Yeah.
you're gonna hear me say a lot of negative shit about this movie.
Oh, I know
and
you
already
will.
have, and you're gonna keep going. I thought Thanos's kind of like burnt, fucked up look
Yeah.
cool look. I thought it was kind of cool
Great.
when they like show the gauntlet and then there's nothing in it and he's just like decaying on one side because the power that he has utilized to use the stones and then destroy the stones is so much. And then also the fact that like all the Avengers just kind of easily overpower him this time. Like just like also just kind of showing that he's been like so weakened by the use of the stone. And also he doesn't sort of have his like zealous fervor anymore, you know? Like, because when they fight him the first time, he's like singularly prepared to do whatever it takes to end his mission. So he sort of has like a reason to, you know, just push himself past his limits. But this time he's almost a little bit more subdued because he's already done the thing.
Yeah.
So they, you know, so he like he's not even like really fighting them as fiercely. I just thought it was a cool characterization of Thanos. And now we're back to shit I don't like, but that, you know, but to this movie's credit, I thought this was fine. I liked how they handled this.
Yeah. And then they essentially talk with him to see if he's lying. And Nebula says there's a lot of things my father is, but a liar is not one of them.
Liar is not one of them.
And
Perhaps
then we
I
get
judged you too harshly. And then he gets his fucking head cut off.
but not before he says, I am inevitable.
Iron Man.
I am
Inevitable.
Venom.
Yeah.
And there goes his head. And this time, you know what?
Yep.
Thor, he went for the head.
I went for the head. Yeah, just dumb,
Yeah.
disgustery. Bleh.
And then this was the part of the movie where you really started hating it. 5
5
years later.
Although I think it is interesting, is that so we're at the Captain America support group. Is this the first instance of a canonically gay man within
Yeah, dude,
the
it's
Marvel
the first
universe?
Disney gay
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
Legit, because I was like, oh, interesting. You know, other
And you know
than
who that is?
no, who is that?
That's Anthony Russo,
Okay, I don't know who that is.
the director.
Oh, wait, is he gay?
I don't
Think
so.
know.
Okay.
I have no clue.
I actually don't know. That's a good question.
It's like but because we also got that I think it was all the way back in Iron Man 2 when they're like at the facility and there's like and Tony Stark is like talking to the dude. And then he's like, oh, we had fun down in Tijuana or whatever. And the guy's like, oh yeah, what was his name? And Tony's like, you can't, come on, man, I'm
Yeah.
not
The movies
like that.
have come quite a far way
I know,
since then.
come quite a far way. Now we actually have a real established gay man sitting next to Captain America. So you know what, dude? Progressive new world.
It's unfortunate
I'm
that
in favor of it.
It's unfortunate that their date consisted of both of them crying at some point.
I
but
know that's a little stereotypical on Disney's end. I will say it's like just let's fucking peel it back a
progress
little
is
bit,
progress,
but
I get, right?
Progress is progress, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, this is kind of just even like the overlooking of like what the world is looking like at this point, and the kind of dark way they're structuring it, and this support group, and it's kind of showing the effect of literally half of everyone on Earth being gone.
Okay, and I'll also say that again throughout me saying shit I don't like. One thing I actually did like is I liked how they did kind of frame it as like the world is just much more empty now. It's like there's just kind of like there's not as many cars, there's not as many people, there's not as many like even like animals, it's just legit. It's like there's a lot of and almost like did you guys ever see 28 Days Later?
No.
28 Days Later is basically like a zombie movie. There's like a guy in a coma in a hospital, and he wakes up in London out of a coma 28 days after this like zombie apocalypse thing has happened. So it's like a month later, and he doesn't realize what's gone on, like because he was in a coma, and he just wakes up all dehydrated and fucked up in a hospital. And there's like a lot of scenes of him wandering around London. And it's just empty because like all the people are dead, but he's like trying to figure out what's going on. And it just kind of reminded me of that, like the way it was shot. There's a lot of like big, vast, empty, sort of lonely open spaces, and that was fun for establishing.
I was gonna say something similar, because this is like one of the coolest things that this movie does is give you that like post-apocalyptic vibe, but like, society is still there. There's still half of the people there. It's just like everything's in ruins and everyone has to deal with the fallout of this like massive event. And I'm sad that like they don't, like, most of the movie takes place not in this world. Like it kind of like they just give you an establishing shot and you look at it for like 5 minutes and then they never talk about it again.
No, I agree with that, actually. I think that had they explored that theme a bit more, I would have liked that. Like, I think that that's more interesting than an hour-long fight scene, frankly.
Yeah, and
but
there's this poster when they first show Cap in his support group or whatever. It's like, what do we do now that they're gone or something like that.
Yeah,
and it gives like very the Leftovers vibes. Have you guys seen the Leftovers?
Totally. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And it's like that type of vibe is dope, and it sucks that
I agree.
It's such a little part of this movie.
I also thought like and this is like it's not even that this doesn't make sense, I guess. It's just like a note that I had that I just thought was like it just stuck out to me. It's strange that it's like 5 years later, like everyone has just come to accept that there was a guy named Thanos, and then there were these Infinity Stones, and he snapped, and then like half the world is gone, because it sort of establishes that in the like the support group thing the Captain America's doing. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, that's very unrealistic, in my opinion, that everyone would just be like, oh yeah, Thanos snapped, and then like whatever, because I mean, I just think like knowing the world as what it is, and an interesting plot point would have been like sort of the fun rise of fringe right conspiracy nuts who, with all of their, guns and armed resistances, would be trying to essentially say that no, it wasn't that, it was actually the government that like did this whole thing. Or like some people are like it's Thanos, and then other people are like, it's China. Like what? Like I just feel like there would have been. In a real world scenario, like, it's strange to me that they're just like, oh yeah, this guy Thanos, he just snapped and did the thing.
So
because he didn't really reveal himself to the planet. You know what I mean? Like he just sort of popped down onto the planet, grabbed the stone out of Vision's head, snapped, but like no one's really seen him other than the Avengers, right? So like, how the fuck would they like how would everyone on Earth know that that's exactly what happened?
Well, everyone on Earth at this point knows who the Avengers are. And so the Avengers, alongside the United Nations, alongside everyone else, communicates all of that out. And it's been 5 years, so it's time enough for people to understand that that's happened. However, to your point, they don't do it during the snap, but the next, or one of the first Disney Plus shows is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Right.
And they explore those types of extremist groups when everyone comes back. Because the idea with that is like, we've essentially built a society over the past 5 to 6 years that has functioned with only half the number of human beings. And we've reallocated housing, we've reallocated jobs, we've done all this. And now half the population just shows back up. Right?
Sure, yeah.
People have moved houses, and now people are inside of a house that they weren't living in anymore, and all this other shit. And so these groups pop up that don't think that they should integrate back into society as they were before. So there's a lot of like
at least
crazy
that's kind
stuff
of interesting. That's kind of fun.
That's like one of the main plot points of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Now that I'm thinking about it, like, why didn't they just travel back to like a day after Thanos snapped and then snapped there? Like,
because Tony didn't want to lose everything that he got over the past 5 years.
Man, fuck Tony.
Yeah, fuck
Well, I mean,
Tony.
that was his condition to working with the Avengers, is that he was more than happy to help and figure it all out with them. But you know,
but he has a daughter now, and he loves her.
Yeah, and also people have also lived their lives for the past 5 years as well. There may be a bunch of people that have had kids, and like, you're erasing everyone's history over the past 5 years to bring everyone back. It's like, maybe not everyone would be down with that. That's some crazy power to take into your own hands, you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
So
But
we get
anyways.
a scene with the most convenient fucking rat in the entire world.
Yeah, the rat that. Well, I mean, hey,
The
it took
rat- the
5
rat-
years
the
for the
rat
rat
The
to
rat
get
that
there.
saved the world.
The rat that canonically saved the entire universe. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, it's the van from Ant-Man 2, which has the quantum tunnel in it at a San Francisco used store it. And Scott pops out of the quantum realm after 5 years on Earth. And
Ken
yeah, so
Jeong
the
is
rat
there?
saves the world. Yeah, Ken Jeong plays the security guard. And yeah, so now we kind of get from Scott's perspective, like, what the fuck just happened over the time
Right.
that I was in the quantum realm?
He's going around. He's like, what the hell happened here? There's missing posters everywhere and stuff. Then he has this fun scene where there's this kid that's like riding on a bike.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey kid, what happened? And it's like, I thought it was fun because the kid looks like very young, and then the kid turns around and looks at him, and then it looks like it's like a 20-year-old guy on a bike. And I was like, fuck, that's weird. And then he turns back around and looks like a small kid again. I couldn't gauge how old that kid was supposed to be.
Yeah,
He was so
I
old.
didn't know
He turns around, he looks all gaunt, manly, very masculine. It's too much, bro. And like,
Yeah, I don't think
I'm gonna
that
post
I
a
caught that.
screenshot.
Yeah.
This kid does not look that old, dude.
Hold on, let's see.
look at him. Yeah, he does.
Dude, he's not he's like 12.
He's like 12.
no way, bro.
yeah,
No,
he's,
he's
like
like,
12.
he looks like no,
Weird.
he looks like Edward Cullen from Twilight, dog.
No, I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
you've
I'm
seen
sorry. Does
Twilight.
Edward Cullen look 12?
No, he
yes,
looks
actually.
17.
Yeah, well,
And
there
he's
you go.
been 17 for a long
He
time.
looks like Batman to me.
That's what
I
I'm
don't
saying,
know.
dude. I feel like this is kind of like an Edward Cullen-esque crossover episode.
I don't think so, though.
Well,
Anyways.
I do. So
Okay, well, you're
All
wrong.
right.
So, we do get to see a bit of the Vanished Memorial, which is where they have all the names of the people who vanished. I'm guessing, obviously,
also-
not across the entire world, probably
Right,
just
I'm
in
like-
New York.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, like what, like, but even just in New York, I'm like, surely that's not all the names,
Well, all the names people care about, obviously.
Right, exactly,
So,
yeah. Yes, they just don't include the homeless.
yeah. Okay.
Probably not.
I mean,
all right?
maybe not.
Young
Yeah.
And that's a problem. All right,
Yeah,
that's fucked
sure.
up. Sure.
And so he looks for Cassie's name. It's not there. And now, guess what? We don't have to see Cassie as a kid ever again. That
Yeah.
actress, booted, gone.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Wasn't his daughter blonde? Am I misremembering that?
No.
No, I don't
No,
think
she
so.
was. Okay, so
She
so
is
that's
blonde
fine.
and- oh, no, she's not. Never mind.
Yeah.
For some
no.
reason, I just had this image of her in my head as like blonde. I don't know what. The other thing though is like, hasn't it been like 5 years?
Yeah.
So why is she like 20?
5 years. She's not 20, but she's definitely
supposed to be
older
in her
than...
Everyone's 20, bro. She is, by the way.
She's
all right?
definitely older than she
like,
should be.
No, listen, dude. I'm being like jokey about the kid on the bike. I hate that I have to fucking pull the curtain on this to prove my next point. Kid on the
I
bike,
know.
yeah, obviously
know.
not 20, right? Okay, but this chick that opened that, like, that's 20, dog. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, that one was actually like, whoa, what the fuck? She's way older than she should be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I think partially this was preparing for the fact that Cassie would play a role in the next Ant-Man movie as a more grown-up adult.
Yeah, what happened with that? Why did they have to recast her?
They didn't even tell her. That's the thing. They didn't even tell this actress why they recast her. So Cassie gets recast again in the same age group with another actress for Ant-Man Quantumania.
She gets recasted.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Recast man. All right.
Recast, man.
All right. So, anyways, we cut up now with Avengers Campus, and it is Black Widow meeting with different Avengers across the world and in space, with Captain Marvel and her new
It's
haircut.
so stupid,
and-
dude.
What? What's
Because-
so stupid?
Well, I mean, even when you phrase it like it's like she's meeting with people from across the world and in space. I'm like, just the scope of like this shit just got so fucking out of control to me, and it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like, again, like Again, there's nothing inherently wrong with it, I suppose. It's just like as soon as
Sure.
all the space shit started happening, I'm just like, it's so goofy, dude. Like it just got
I
so
don't
fucking
know.
goofy.
Well, I mean, Captain Marvel left at the end of Captain Marvel's movie and went into space, right?
He
so,
did.
like, it's I don't know. As she explains, what's happening on Earth is happening everywhere, and Avengers
Right.
only give a shit about the Earth. So she has to go out there and help. There's a quick mention here of what they call a subduction under the African plate. And it turns out this is potentially a reference to Namor, which ends up being the villain of Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
I think you mean
Nice.
Namor.
Namor.
Yeah, even the characters
Namor.
in that movie can't get the name right, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine. Anyways,
Just
Rhodes
like
stays...
Edgar Allan Poe always said, quoth the raven, more.
Okay,
back to
was
you, Dan.
more.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
now
no,
we
I
get to
got
the
you.
part that you've been waiting for is what's happening with Hawkeye?
Right. Well,
Rhodes
hold
stays
on,
behind.
because no,
Yeah.
wait.
Sure, okay,
Because we're not quite there yet, are we? Because doesn't the talk between Captain America and what's her face
No,
happen
after
before
this.
that happens after this? Okay, then
No,
yes.
because what I'm talking about is not. This is just where Widow finds out that there's a room full of bodies in Mexico, and they
right.
were all demolished. And I
Understood.
wonder what happened. It
So
was
stupid.
Spartan.
That's so dumb. Dude, fucking like him being like, I'm a samurai sword guy now. It's
Ronin.
Fuck off.
Ronin
Fuck
now.
off. Fuck
That's
off.
Ronin. It's
Fuck
Ronin.
off,
It's
Ronin.
from the comics.
Fuck off, Hawkeye. I don't care. It's all dumb.
It's Ronin.
So dumb.
It's Ronin.
It was dumb in the comics too. You know.
Okay. Well,
That's who I was
it's-
supposed to
but
get
yeah,
drawn
now
as for our cape shit art before
Right.
we changed it to Shang-Chi for a joke.
It's a good thing we didn't make it
I don't
Ronin.
know.
though.
Yeah. I don't know if we ever like referenced how funny that is. That we're like, oh, dude, you're Asian, so you should be the Asian guy.
Yeah, but yeah, so yes, now is where Cap and Widow talk, and Cap mentions to your point earlier about the like less people and all that. He said there's fewer ships, cleaner water. He saw some
Right, so
whales
there's
out in the bay.
whales. And
Yeah,
she's like, if you try to tell me that there's a silver lining, I'm about to hit you in the head with a peanut butter sandwich.
Yep. Yeah, I know you
says
love
that.
that part.
It's a disgustery. Again, this movie is full of them. But yeah, no, they're like, yeah. Again, dude, it's like, it's so fucking camp. It's like the campiest fucking shit. Like, it's weird. Like, the sort of like serious gravitas of the situation that was like presented in Infinity War is just kind of gone now in a lot of ways, where it's like they'll like start to kind of, it's like, oh, it's serious and it's grim, but then it's like now everyone, it's like the one-liner show. Everybody needs to get like a little comic relief one-liner thing in
But
there.
even then, they're pretty minimal. Like they're not like super big comedy relief moments where it's like pausing the entirety of the
Yeah, they're
the
like throwing out
conversation.
one-liners in place of dialogue, which is like the weird part about it. Is
Yeah,
like people don't talk like that. It's like I don't know.
Right, people don't talk like that. People don't stand like that. There's like also like a lot of posing in this movie.
Oh, there's
that's,
so
Hell
like,
yeah.
much posing, dude.
Hell
right, which is
yeah.
like again, it's like it's just not
It's
like
for
it's
me.
it's a fan service movie. Like this is
Yep,
like a
exactly. It
It's
is.
just everyone's just fucking flanderized. Like
But I mean, after
Yeah.
22 movies, like this is the end. They have to loop everything together. They got to bring the references. They got to bring all the people back. They got to, do it for the fans, which is me, by the way.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
I would have been a fan if they had just kept everybody dead.
Well, they would never do that. I mean, the
never.
second that they dusted Spider-Man and Black Panther, you knew that they weren't like.
Yeah,
They
you
were just
can't. You
predicting the
can't.
future, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you can't do it. Anyways, and then Scott Lang shows up. It's been 5 years. They thought he was dusted, but guess what? He's
Wait, were you
not.
saying? Hold on. Wait, I was just digesting the thing that John just said. Are you saying they were just predicting the future because the actor that played Black Panther is dead?
Yeah, that was a joke.
Oh no,
That's
I
very
didn't
funny.
catch that.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, okay. That would took me a second. I had to think about it for a minute. I feel like you didn't get the credit you deserved for that. I had to chew on it.
Thank you.
but,
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Upon retrospect, yes, that I enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Well,
for that
that's
addition.
terrible. I'm glad.
All right,
I
anyway,
skipped
back
over
Here's
to
the
you,
question:
Dan.
Are we keeping that one in?
Oh yeah, it's the last step, bro.
Yeah,
We
this
have-
is it. I mean, you got
My
you're
editing
all in
machine
at
is
this
broken.
point. Yeah, you're all in at this point. Anyway, so Scott shows up. They're flabbergasted, I think is the best way to put it. And he talks to them about how he got there, that he was in the quantum realm. But guess what? Now, here's the problem. And I mentioned this in Ant-Man and the Wasp when we recorded that, but they really don't consistently hold the quantum realm to anything. I mean, he says that it was only 5 hours of time that he was stuck in the quantum realm and that it's been 5 years on Earth. However, what's her name? Janet, Hope's mother, was in the quantum realm for 30 Earth years, but also aged 30
Right.
years.
Yes.
So what? Like it so anyway, I don't know. It just doesn't.
timey-wimey,
Yeah, Doctor
Oh,
Who
yeah,
it's
kind
like
of time.
timey-wimey.
Yeah,
right?
of course. Yeah.
Kind of like
so
a classic Doctor Who's that sort of scenario.
Yeah.
sure. Yes, of course. So, anyways, they talk about what they could do to maybe use the quantum realm as a potential time machine. And then I'm sure. Yeah.
Which is
a
again
time
around
movie.
this point, I'm just like, oh no. I really hope that that's not going to be the next 2 fucking hours of this movie.
Yep.
And lo and behold, it is. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
I
And
mean-
and they didn't even do it in like a cool way. Like, fuck. Like,
Well,
I don't
in
know,
your
man.
opinion, they didn't do it in a cool
Yes,
way.
in my opinion, they didn't do it in a
They
cool
didn't
way.
Really.
But you're not the definition of cool when it comes to Marvel. I'm just.
Well, when it comes to
No,
Marvel,
when it comes
you're right.
to true.
However, I think
Uh-huh.
not being the definition of cool when it comes to Marvel actually makes me the definition of cool.
I don't think that's
because
true.
of that. So
I don't think that's true.
I think that actually kind of is points in my favor.
You can live that life. I think that's
and I
fine
do.
for you to
Yeah,
go ahead and
every
live that
day.
life. Yeah. And you can live that life with all your friends at the gym.
And I do that every day as well. Thank
I
you very
know.
much. Curling
anyways.
30-pound weights, getting down on some spider curls today. We're hitting traps.
Like
We're hitting
Spider-Man?
lats. We're hitting delts. We're going through. We're doing squats. We're hitting depth on the squats. We're popping back on up. Goblet squats, you know that I got that on lock. We also got bar squats. We're doing a little bit of those too. Body weight squats, why not? Suspend. Anyway, back to you, Dan.
All right, great. Thank you, because I was going to fall asleep there for a second. Anyways, so they decide that they're going to need some help if they're going to try to figure out how to utilize the quantum realm as a time machine. And here's where we get to see what Tony's been up to for the past 5 years. And
It's so dumb. And they have to and the way that they like write Tony, where he's like mean to his daughter, but like in like a but in like a dry, sarcastic way where he actually like loves her. I just thought it was like stupid. Like again, it's like I kind of said it
was
before.
Tony. It's just
No,
Tony.
I know,
Like,
I know you did, and you
But
would,
it's just-
and
it's
that's
just
and that's
Tony.
fine, right? Yeah, I know, but it's this like hyped up, giga unrealistic version of Tony Stark. Like I just felt like every single
What?
character in this movie was just like fucking like it's like they took. I don't even exactly know how to describe it, I guess, because this is like the first time I'm trying to vocal. I'm trying to describe it without saying Flanderization again, right? Right, but that's kind of what I mean, where it's like they sort of like took everybody's like personality, and if everybody's personality is normally at like 100% in all the rest of the movies, it's like 120% in this one. It's like they're almost like over the top bastardizations of themselves for like the final act. I just thought Tony interacting with his daughter was like a similar thing. It's just fan service because he's just like, I'm going to make dry, sarcastic, witty remarks to this small child. And the audience is supposed to go like, oh, that's just that is how Tony would be around his daughter or whatever. But it just didn't do it for me. I didn't like it. Also, where the fuck is Pepper? There's all these scenes where it's like Pepper should really be there, and she isn't, and then she just randomly shows up sitting on a couch in the living room, and it's like a jump scare because it's just like, "Where's Pep?" And then she says something to him, and
Pepper
it's like,
could
"Oh,
just
fuck."
be in the house. I mean, she doesn't need to be just sitting next to Tony at all times, right?
Well, she doesn't need to be. It's just weird. They keep like, there's all these scenes where it probably would have made sense for Pepper to have like chimed in and said something because they're just talking about Pepper.
Yeah.
I
and then
mean, we also have to figure that they had like 60 actors in this movie, right? So, I mean, you know, to try to get them to shoot these 2 movies over the course of like 2.5 years and try to get all the actors in the same place at the same time, it's probably not an easy feat to pull
Yeah, and
off.
also like fitting that many characters into a scene is probably why they're all Flanderized in the first place. So if you like
Sure.
add Pepper into, she has nothing to do except stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Totally.
We also get Chekhov's rescue mask.
Yeah, the rescue helmet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because if the rescue helmet is introduced in the first act, it must be worn by Pepper Potts by the third, as we all know.
The hottest
mean,
character.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, really. We don't even get to see the hottest character in this movie because Maria Hill doesn't fucking show up.
Yeah,
dude.
she does. She's
She
at the
does
funeral.
show up, and the fact that you didn't see her just
no,
tells me you're not a real
you
hillhead.
called.
She does show up, and
Wait, does she?
didn't
You called the
notice her.
funeral scene stupid, but she was there.
Right.
She
Okay,
was
well-
at the funeral.
That just goes to, it was so goddamn busy at the
you're
funeral
just-
scene that I don't
you're-
even get to see the hot character.
You're not even a real hillhead.
Bro,
That's
they had
what I've
all the
gathered
hot
from
characters
this.
there. They had Aunt
Real
May.
hillhead.
They had Hawkeye's wife, and then they had Maria Hill.
Wait, Aunt May was not at the funeral, was she?
Yeah, she was.
Yes, she was.
No, she fucking... Dude, shut the fuck
Yep,
up. No way.
she was.
Dude, that's
Go rewatch that
scene. God
You know who
damn,
else
what a
was there
shitty scene.
that you probably didn't realize was this person? It was the kid from Ant-Man 3 grown up, the same actor, but it's been many years, so he was a grown-up kid at that point.
Wait,
but it was the kid from Ant-Man 3.
Wait,
Or sorry, it's Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3.
okay, word?
The kid that you
Wait,
loved in the
dude,
garage.
Shut the fuck up. The kid from Iron Man 3.
Yep.
That's so fucking stupid. I hate that scene. Now I'm like, you know what, dude? I've been fake mad this entire day. Now I'm
I
real
know.
mad.
You
That's
missed Maria
upsetting to
Hill and
me.
all of that.
Also, let's not get it twisted. When I said she's the hottest character, I meant the suit, not Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right, of course.
Okay, yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. Any woman in an Iron Man suit is just it's
Yeah.
gonna do the trick
Exactly.
for him.
Or man.
Yeah, you
Maybe,
can't
yeah,
see who's
sure.
inside. It doesn't matter.
Can't see who's
Yeah.
inside. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
a man or woman. Of course, John closes his eyes and pretends it's a woman, but it could be a man inside of there,
Sure.
and that's still getting the job done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're
Well,
progressive. This is a
functionally, it's the
progressive
same.
podcast, dude. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is you know what? This is the podcast of hey, the Avengers. We're like the progressive guys. Anyway,
Anyways,
I don't know where I was trying. I don't know where I was going
moving
with that.
on.
Again, I'm
they
just very high energy because
I
this is the
know,
last
they-
podcast
they-
we ever have to do, and I'm very excited.
So they share their plan with Tony, and it is
Right.
to pull off a time heist.
Yeah.
And Tony says it's a pipe dream and that he's not willing to risk it. He said he's already had his second chance and he can't roll the dice on this. He
Right.
immediately shuts them down. Like, nope, not going to help, not going to do it, not going to happen. You're basing this on Back to the Future. It's not going to happen. So they need a bigger brain than Tony's, but just physically a bigger brain, which we
Wait,
get to
and then
see.
hold on. I wrote down 1 second. I wrote down a line, and I can't remember what.
Yeah,
it was.
what's that?
I just said, "That's right, Scott. I won't even."
Yeah, because Scott says, so you're telling me that you're not even, and then he cuts him off and he says, you're right, I won't even.
Okay, word. Didn't like it. Back to you, Dan.
Okay, well.
That's why I wrote it down. I just couldn't remember.
You know what would have been sick is they're talking about like who's got a bigger brain. They could have put in Reed Richards, and then John Krasinski would have showed up and just like stared at the camera awkwardly.
Yeah, because
Ooh, that
if there
would've
was
been
one
pretty
thing
cool.
we needed to put Christian over the edge in this movie, it would be John
Dude,
Krasinski
John
showing
fucking
up.
Krasinski. God, I would have loved that though.
Oh, man.
Oh, that would have made this podcast very fun.
But if there's one thing in this movie that I think actually would have made Christian really upset, I would
Yeah.
think it'd be this scene here where we're now in a diner with Professor Hulk, or they call him Smart Hulk in this movie, which is the in-between between Banner and Hulk. He's now in permanent Hulk form. And these kids walk up to the table and ask for a photo, and then Hulk takes a photo with them and says, dab. He actually says dab to these children, and it hasn't aged super well since.
Well, I just think that the whole, like, I don't know, man, Smart Hulk, I just think it's dumb. It's like this weird where they just like show up and he's like, oh yeah, I'm just Hulk all the time now. That's just like kind of like my thing. And everyone's like, oh, okay, no more explanation needed to that. Like that, like Taika Waititi, like flip of like what the Hulk actually is.
Yeah.
This is like the final manifestation of it. Then they even kind of retcon Hulk later. Because, like, later in the movie, like, when they have to, spoiler alert, go back in time, they see, like, and they're like, Hulk, you need to take the stairs. And he's like, Hulk, stairs, mad, stairs, Hulk. But, like, Hulk wasn't, like, even in, like, the first Avengers movie,
Yeah,
Hulk
I don't think
wasn't.
he said anything in the first movie.
He didn't. So he wasn't. So they're like going back in time. They're like, oh, but even back then Hulk still had. But he didn't. They're lying to you. They're tricksters. That's a little ledger domain that they're trying to pull on you. I would not allow them to do that nor fall for that. Hulk was never speaking words like that in the first Avengers movie. And just because they add in a little scene to try to trick you, all right, again, it's a Hollywood trick and frankly a Hollywood trap. It's a Hollywood trap and trick.
Honestly, throw the whole movie in the garbage can now, just because of that. Yeah. Yeah, you're so right. I can't believe I never thought of it like that. Wow, Christian, you're very smart.
Thank you so much. I've often said that about myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Anyways.
No, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just dumb to me.
Well,
in my opinion.
If there was one part of this movie that I would say, okay, it's a little bit, on the edge. It's this next part. We're back at Tony's. He's working on time travel. He does one more analysis, and he figures out.
No. Hold on, because even before this happens, we get a fucking stupid scene where he's adapting to his new life. He's like, you know what? We're good. I'm just going to send these people away. I'm just going to sit here, in my newer simple life and just do the dishes. And he's just doing some dishes, spraying it. Accidentally sprays up for no reason, by the way. Just does. And water, oh, damn, it gets everywhere. And there's no if you watch the scene, he's just he flings his arm and sprays, so it's like, why? But whatever. And then he's like, oh, okay, he's mopping it up, and he reaches up onto the top shelf to mop up the water, and conveniently enough, there's a picture of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, up there, and that's the thing that he sees, and he's like, you know what? Now I was wrong to turn them away. This sprayed water on this thing of Peter Parker was the thing to tip me over. I should probably go try and help them. And then within 15 minutes, he solves time travel. And then there you go. And that's Tony Stark for you.
Yeah.
I mean, that didn't hit me at all in the same way that it hit you, I guess. So that's...
in a way, it does make sense because the only thing holding him back from helping them out with time travel is the fact that he has a daughter. But then having the memories of his basically surrogate son would be the equalizer to get him back on
right,
the
but
other
why
side.
would he have a picture of Peter Parker hidden behind some cups
it's
in
not
a
hidden
shelf?
behind cups.
It
because
is.
There's a picture of his dad there too.
Yeah, but it's
other pictures there.
There's other stuff, but he sprays back. He has to reach up and in, and then he grabs the picture, and then he looks at it, and then that prompts
cups,
him.
Yeah.
It's behind cups. Why? I'll tell you why. Because they needed a convenient reason for Stark to start fucking caring. That's it. That's the only reason that scene's there, and it doesn't make sense either.
Clearly, that hit you a lot harder than it hit me because I never would have thought twice about that scene.
Very
ever.
upset.
And
Not-
that's just the different
not
kind of
happy about it.
lives we lead.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
you get very angry and upset about non-trivial things. So,
Yeah, I agree. I do get angry and upset about non-trivial things.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Anyway, Morgan is awake though, and she says shit. So, how did you all enjoy this child actor? Another banger on top
So
of the
funny,
list,
dude.
like Cassie was, and all
Right.
the other child actors that were in this MCU.
Yep.
Right? I'm sure you all enjoyed her. And they Tony puts her to sleep. She says, "I love you 3000," which is one of the first big things that came out of this. "I love you 3000" was all over
God,
the
it was
internet
so
for a long
was it?
time. Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, I can just imagine, like, just some fucking, like, Marvel couple. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a Marvel
dude.
guy.
Oh yeah.
And, like, a Marvel girl. And
Uh-huh.
then they, like,
Or a Marvel guy and a Marvel
Say
guy.
that.
or a Marvel guy or a Marvel girl
Yeah,
and a Marvel
very
girl.
progressive,
Fuck
John,
yeah, we're
thank
a
you.
progressive podcast. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. I appreciate that, John. And then they're just sitting in their private homes just saying shit like that to each other. That's disgusting.
Yeah, I
That's
hate
fun.
when people
Ugh.
show love to each other in their private homes as
Yeah.
a married couple
As a
who
ma-
enjoy
ugh.
their
Yeah.
company. That's
You
the
know what,
worst.
Dan? That might be the first thing you and I actually agree on,
Okay,
because,
yeah,
fuck
that's the
yeah.
worst. I hate love like that. That's terrible.
I'm just like, oh, God.
two people
It's
who
kinda like,
share a common interest and then use that common interest to show
Yeah.
how much they love each other. That's terrible.
Yeah.
yeah, that's fucked up. It's kind of like those people where it's like, you know, they buy those like those Disney shirts. You know, one of them's like,
Yeah,
one of 'em-
dude.
one
Oh,
of
we're
them's
gonna
like,
see some
I'm-
of those.
Oh, we are gonna see. So, and one of them's like, I'm the king, and then it has like Mickey Mouse on it, and then the next one it's like, I'm the princess, and it has like Minnie Mouse on. And then they like hold hands, they look at each other, and they're just like, I love you three. It's disgusting. These are disgusting people.
when we go to Disneyland, can you wear
Uh-huh.
a shirt that says "I don't love him 3000" and it's a picture of my face on it?
No, I can't do that.
Come
I'm
on.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, anyways,
Absolutely not. I will, however, wear
Uh-huh.
like you know, this is my king with like an arrow pointing, but you have to wear another one that's pointing to me. Because this is a progressive podcast.
Sure, of course.
We'll be one another's kings at Disneyland. And
Well, a couple more here
and,
of-
and in
yes.
the interest of a progressive podcast, John gets to wear the I'm the Queen shirt.
Yeah.
Sure, of
Sure.
course,
There you
very
go.
progressive.
All right? And we have no problems with
we
that.
could be a
ladies and
throuple.
gentlemen. We're a throuple.
Yeah,
We're a
okay.
2003 progressive throuple.
Oh God,
We love each other.
Okay, well,
3,000.
Oh God, we love each other 3,000. We love each other 9,000 because we love each other 3,000, 3,000, 3,000 because of the throuple. You know.
oh my God.
Fuck.
Anyways,
yeah, no,
now
that's
for
dumb. Don't ever say things like that to one another. Just anyone listening to this podcast, if someone's like, "Hey, I
don't
love
ever
you,"
enjoy yourself in front of Christian.
I'm
I think
just
that's the
saying-
key indicator here.
if someone's ever like, "I love you 3,000," they're bad news. You gotta get that guy out of your life. That's not. You don't need that fucking emotional baggage that dude's gonna weigh you down with. Trust me. Just trust me on this. All right, I'm right.
Well, two of Christian's favorite moments here coming up. Tony tells Morgan to go to bed or he'll sell all her toys. And then Pepper and Tony talk on the couch about whether he should actually share this time travel
Bro,
information.
Pepper gets a banger of a line here. By the way.
Oh yeah, and she,
Oh, yeah.
she says, and he says, maybe I should just toss this into the bottom of the lake and go to bed. And she says, but will you be able to rest?
Well, no. Even more. She says we could go to bed, but would you be able to rest? And again, classic disgustery. I wrote that down. Didn't like it. Did not like that line. Didn't like any of the lines, really. Pick a line in this movie. I didn't like it.
I know. Well, life is just very difficult for you,
Fired up.
isn't it?
Woo! Woo! Last episode, dude. I'm so
the
fucking psyched.
the number 2 movie of all time, and Christian is just like, nope, none of it is good.
Yeah.
And you just see the world that Christian lives in, you know?
Not none of it, because scarred up Thanos was kind of cool.
I mean,
Okay,
if you're
well,
gonna
thank
if you're gonna
goodness.
call this the number 2 movie in the world, then you also admit that Avatar is the number 1 movie in the
Yeah,
world.
you admit Avatar is better.
right?
If this is
I
the
don't
number
admit
2
that.
movie, no, you have
No, you have
because
to,
if
because
this,
if
if
this
this
is
They
is
number 2
cheated,
movie.
so I don't admit it. They cheated.
yeah, well,
I don't
I'm just
know.
saying they cheated, so I don't have to admit it. Hey, here we are. So will you be able to rest? No. Hulk and
absolutely
team
not.
are working on time travel now using the van without Tony's help. And Ant-Man is going to try to travel through time, and then they're going to bring him back. But turns out that didn't go as planned. And so Scott comes back like 3 or 4 times at different ages in his life, as a baby, as a teenager, as a very old person, and then back as himself. And Hulk sees this as a great success, and that's another
No,
meme
he doesn't.
right
He-
out of
as
the
an
gate.
absolute win.
As an
Yeah,
absolute win.
He doesn't see it as a
They-
great success. He sees it as an absolute win. And then
There
also
you go.
Scott Lang's like, I pissed myself. And it's like a big,
I'm
it's a
not
big
sure if that
comedy
was
moment.
old me or baby me or just me.
Or just me. But I
Come
pissed
on.
myself.
Come on, it's comedy.
It's so funny, dude. I'm so happy that we get all these like funny.
You know who laughed at that? Every person in every movie theater who watched that movie.
Yeah, they
And I
every
hope you
single
feel
one
good
of them?
about that. Every one
hell
of
yeah.
them. Yeah.
well.
Next time you should watch this movie again, but watch it in the audience reaction version. So just a 3-hour audience filmed view of Avengers Endgame. I think if I were ever to torture you,
wait,
that's
yeah,
what
do
I would
those
do.
exist?
I would strap you to a chair
Yeah.
and I would put a iPad right in front of your face, about 2 inches in front of it.
You ever seen
Highest volume of
Dude,
the
you ever
entirety of Avengers Endgame
You
with
ever
audience
seen,
reaction.
and of course you haven't, because you fucking don't like any of the shit that I like. So why would you have ever
Well,
seen this?
okay, I don't know about that, but
Clockwork Orange.
I have not.
Of course you haven't, but I'm linking a GIF right now. But yeah, basically classic.
Yes.
They hook up
Yep.
like Alex to the chair, and then they make them watch. It would just be this basically.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I would do if I were to torture you.
By the way, you should definitely
is-
watch Clockwork Orange someday. It's very good.
Okay, sure.
He won't. He's
Is
not
it-
going.
is
He's
it-
gonna add it to the list, and then he's gonna
Is it
watch it fucking-
$2.8 billion good?
No, it's actually one of the first rated X movies, though. So they like weren't able to distribute it in theaters. It's cool
I don't
though.
like
It's fun.
pornography. Okay.
Well, one could argue that perhaps that movie isn't really that. I mean, there are a lot of titties in it, but it's kind of
okay.
but the implications of which it's not really sexual. It's more kind of like meant to be disturbing. Anyway, that's a different podcast. We're
Yeah,
talking
bodies are
about
pretty
Marvel. Yeah.
Well, you know what? We didn't have to wait too long because Tony's here. He's driving up very fast in his Audi car. That's Audi, right? Is
it's
that
an
the
Audi.
Yep.
I don't know cars
on,
very
bro.
well, but you know. Yeah, so Tony's here and he built a time space GPS, and that is going to help them navigate through the quantum realm to be able to time travel. And his commitment is that he will help, and he wants to bring back the people they lost, but he has to keep what they've found since those 5 years have happened. And also, he'd like to not die trying. You know, just a quick note there. He
Wow,
would like
that's
to not die.
foreshadowing. Believe it or not, he's going to die trying.
What?
That's gonna happen.
Yeah, and then finally he hands over the
And
cap
frankly,
shield.
good.
Okay.
I've had enough of this damn Tony Stark on
Well, I mean,
screens.
hey, you know what? I mean, then that's a good thing about this movie, right?
Yeah.
Tony lived his existence in the MCU, and it was about time to stop relying on him.
Yeah, I agree.
So they kill him off.
Yeah.
I think the way that they kill off Captain America was dumb. We'll get to that.
Well, they didn't
And
kill him. He's not dead.
Wait,
Yeah, he's not dead. He's still just walking
oh
around.
no.
Well, he's
Wait, he
more like
exists-
hobbling around, but yeah.
He exists as like an old man.
Not only does he
canonically in the universe.
exist,
Oh,
not only does
God.
he exist, but there is a future potential that they could do a
No.
series of him returning all the stones back.
Wait, really?
That hasn't been done, and there isn't any talks of it. I'm just saying there's
They
a
won't.
long period of time that they could account
They
for
shouldn't.
Captain America's life.
Wait, does he like have like cameos in the movies?
Not after Endgame. He is
Okay.
no
He's
longer. He
fully
doesn't
out.
show up in any
Okay.
movies after Endgame.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, because I was just like, man, if they're like bringing back
But
like
he
okay,
could.
but- yeah, I don't. I hope he does. I hope he gets his head chopped off, like
Okay,
in
well.
real life, so he can never star in another movie again. Just kidding. Just
Okay,
kidding. That's not what I hope. I'm joking. I hope that doesn't. I hope that
man.
doesn't happen to him.
All right, welcome back to the last episode of Cape Shit. Anyways, where were we before you said that? Oh, yes. Another one of Christian's favorite moments here. Scott is eating a taco outside of Avengers Campus when they're getting the band back together, and Nebula lands the ship right outside of Avengers
Right.
Campus, and guess what? Scott's taco is gone.
It's
It got
gone.
blown away by the ship that landed in. I will say that here when Rhodes lands next to Scott, and like Scott like has a heart attack because he just like appears out of nowhere, I laughed. I thought that was funny. But I'm gonna guess, Christian, that you didn't
Why?
think it was
why,
funny.
Why? Explain to me why you thought
Because
that was funny.
it just scared the shit out of him. I thought Paul Rudd's reaction was really funny. That's it. I mean, it's very simple. I'm a simple guy.
Sudden thing,
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I'm a simple guy. He got
Like
scared. It was funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I bet you like
and then the
YouTube
part you
clips.
loved was that Hulk handed over 2 of his tacos to Scott, and that was very
Right.
heartwarming and wholesome.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Dude, there's something about like tacos in relation to humor that I just hate. It was like, it was
Oh my
like,
God.
no,
That
but
is
it,
the most specific
here,
nitpick.
it was a thing for a while. Like you know how like bacon was a thing for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like, you know, people just like couldn't shut the fuck up. I remember even when I was streaming. Do people unironically, like not even, they would like come into my stream and say things like, oh, I could never be a vegetarian because then I'd have to give up bacon. And I'm just like, man, imagine like living your life like that. That's fucking awful.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like tacos are like a similar, it's like, haha, like tacos is sort of like a lol random, like early 2000s humor
Yeah, like
kind of
LOL, can I
thing.
has cheeseburger?
Can I
type
has
shit.
cheeseburger? Ha,
Yeah.
ooh, tasty, crunchy taco, you know? Like sort of like Gurr from Invader Zim, which
Yeah.
is the only acceptable instance of lol random humor is, of course, Gurr from Invader Zim. Very good. Anything
I do
else?
enjoy Gurr from Invader Zim.
Gurr
Yes.
from Invader Zim.
Yeah.
But Gurr from Invader Zim also sort of like pioneered
Yeah, that was
the
like
whole,
the
like,
OG.
yeah, it was kind of like the thing that then made all the mall goths do that, which then made it not cool because you
And
can't
then we
have mall
got
goths.
and then we got ugly dolls.
Oh, and then we got ugly dolls. Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
dude.
even know what you're referring to.
Do you remember those? Do you remember
Really?
those?
No.
It was like the bunny, where it's like, you know, it's like I throw rocks at boys or whatever. There was that,
Oh,
like
yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
yeah. We got those
Oh,
too.
we went off
Anyway,
topic too often.
I know for sure, yeah. But I'm just saying that, yeah, something about like, you know, like tacos as sort of like, you know, it's like sort of adding absurdity into the situation because the character is holding a taco. It's actually a trope. It's a trope that I don't support. I want to go on record as saying Christian does not like the taco adding a comedic layer into the situation trope. You should really rely on something else. I think it's very lazy. I think everyone in Hollywood, well, I'll keep that opinion to myself. Back to you, Dan.
I'm really glad we talked about it.
Ooh,
Oh.
yeah, that's fun.
Okay.
Claps for Dan.
You know where Hulk and Rocket are heading? They're going to New Asgard because they got to bring Thor back so that he
Right.
can help them save the world. And this is where we're going to see Fat Thor for the first time.
Yep.
And we first get a quick intro from Valkyrie, who says that she preferred Banner either of the other 2 ways,
Right.
which I think is Christian's thoughts as well. He also
Actually,
preferred.
unironically, yes. Actually,
Yeah.
that's probably the only time that my opinion has ever lined up with the opinion of one of the in-universe characters.
Sure,
I agree
yeah.
with Valkyrie there, though.
But anyways, we get to where Thor's staying, and Korg and Meek are there, and guess what they're playing? They're
Fortnite,
playing
baby.
Fortnite, because Fortnite
sir.
is
Yeah.
forever. And so Fortnite is forever, and they're playing Fortnite, and Noobmaster69 is
Noobmaster
talking shit to
69.
Korg again. And so Thor will go ahead and take care of that for them.
It's just, I just feel like no one has any. This really does feel like we are really coming full circle, because a lot of my nitpicks are like really like this kind of reminds me of like when we watched Iron Man 1 and I just didn't like any of it, and so it's just anything that happened I was like, I fucking hate it.
I know. Yeah.
We're back to, because I don't think movies have any business referencing video game pop culture things, because they always get it wrong, and then it just sort of becomes like a bastardization of itself. Like, I understand why Noobmaster69 is supposed to be like funny, but it's too like meta, like that it becomes like not funny, because it's like the kind of thing that an out of touch guy who doesn't actually play a video game would assume is a funny joke about a video game to then throw into a blockbuster movie. I just don't like it very much. And then also, it's like, if you're at least get some like screenshots of people like playing games, like as opposed to just like, just random shot. It's like, it's just bad. Like, video games and movies are handled poorly.
I want to see
like
Korg hit a sick edit, like pump shotgun to the face on some kid.
That'd be cool. Like, honestly, dude, like, fuck it,
Yeah,
why
but
not? Like,
you got to remember, when that came out, building was not how building is today in Fortnite.
Sure.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
Korg
just
would have
saying, dude.
pioneered it.
But you know what, dude? I'm just saying, like, you totally could have gone up to like someone, anyone really, like, just like hit up motherfucking Ninja was probably like popping at that time. Can you imagine the cross promotional campaign of being like, oh shit, dude, like Ninja has like fucking 8 minutes of like Fortnite footage in the new Marvel movie? Whoa, it's crazy.
You know that when these movies came out, there was a crossover into Fortnite as well. There was the Avengers Infinity
was there?
War and Endgame crossover where Thanos was in the game.
Oh,
Where you
right.
could, one person would be Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. They'd have an extra amount of powers. If you band together and killed him, the gauntlet would drop. The next person would have to grab it. It was like this whole game mode based around Thanos.
Gotcha. I didn't know that, but okay.
Yeah, you missed out. Anyways,
apparently.
back to the movie. Thor is completely just broken. I mean, he's gained a bunch of weight. He's his hair's grown out. His beard's grown out.
Right.
When they mention Thanos, he like is gonna start crying. Essentially, he's gonna beat up Hulk. They convince him to join them by saying they've got beer on the ship. So Thor is in.
Which was also a disgustery line that I added.
I
where
know.
they're
You
like,
just hate it.
Yeah. Also, we skipped over the thing where, what's her face? The blue woman, Nebula. Says that there's an idiot in the landing zone.
Yeah, that's
Scott Lang.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. I didn't talk about that one line because I didn't have a super negative reaction to it like I'm sure you did, where you
I did.
punched the pillow next to you on the couch when you
did.
heard it.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. Didn't like it. And
Well-
and then the whole thing where it's like, there's beer on the ship, and then that's the thing, and then Thor finally
easy.
decides that he's gonna.
Well, look, after all this time, we finally get to a scene that I think you loved the most as we talk through this movie, and we are in Tokyo. There's a fight scene, and there's some guy with a sword. I don't know what's happening here. It's unclear. There's a lot of fighting and death, and this person's about to get murdered, and this guy's fighting. Who's this guy with the sword? What's happening? Did you know it was Hawkeye, by the way, while it was happening?
This is what I wrote. Jesus fucking Christ. Is that Hawkeye?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Fucking goddamn. That's what I wrote.
The thing is,
Yep.
like, this could have been easily like one of the coolest part of the movie, but then they like overdid it and shot it in the most fucking cheesy way possible, and the acting is like so over the top, like parody style acting. It's
Wait,
weird.
you didn't like when he cleaned his knife or his
Bro,
sword by
it
like
was
running it through
It
his
was
arm?
so overdone. I don't get it, man. I don't understand.
It would have been
Widow's
cooler
there
if it
to,
like
to bring him back.
wasn't Hawkeye.
Well, I mean,
Like-
he's Ronin, so you know.
Right, but if it wasn't the like crack rock smoking fucking actor, whatever the fuck his name is, like no, I'm just saying, I would have even liked this more if it had like he had like pulled off the mask and the reveal is that it's like just some other guy we've never seen before. I would have said, oh, that's much better than it being.
What if it
Hawkeye.
was The Rock?
Sure, why not? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Put him in there.
And it was, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Widow is there to get him to bring him back so that he can join them on the adventure.
Right,
and
because Widow's on some fucking like, oh hey, we have a chance here.
Yeah.
We can get your family back. And he's like, don't. And she's like, don't what? Don't give me hope.
That's another meme.
Yeah.
Oh, is it another meme? It's a bad
Yeah,
meme.
don't do that.
Who are sharing these memes? Like we need to cut their hands off. Get rid of them. Stop doing that. And then I also have I'm game, I'll do it. I wrote that down. Who says that?
I'm game, I'll do it.
I'm game. I'll do. I don't know. I wrote
Oh,
that
yeah.
down.
So they're back at Avengers Campus now, and they're talking about building the time machine. They're almost out of Pym particles. They're talking about time travel mechanics now.
Sure.
So this is where they're talking about how time travel actually works. And everyone's saying, well, why don't we just go back into the past and kill baby Thanos and we're good to go? But the idea is that that's not how time travel works in the MCU. And by the way, this conversation that happens right here sets up all of Phase 4. Which is how the multiverse works and how it's going to function in the MCU and all of that, which the idea, the very basic idea, which the Ancient One also explains a little bit more later, is that whenever you change something in the past, it's creating an alternate reality. So it's a branched reality, meaning that your past is now your future because you're still living your current timeline.
Right.
It's not that you're changing the future for the existence that you already had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where Ant-Man is like, I don't know if I can do this. And then at the door, leaning against the frame, is Hawkeye, and he says, I'm game.
I'll do it.
Yep.
Got it.
And
All
by
right,
the
that's-
way,
And also now he has a
something
full
that's-
sleeve.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
he
he
does have
does.
a full sleeve now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's got the cool haircut.
Right. It's how you know that he's like
Johnny
a renegade
Test haircut, dude.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Something that was interesting that I found out after this movie was done was that all of those white suits, the Avengers suits that they're wearing in this scene and also in the next couple
Yeah.
scenes, those were all completely CGI, 100%, which was kind of crazy. Like, I thought that they were extremely well done. I didn't notice like any major issues with the suits. I thought that they were real the first time I watched them.
The only time that it's super apparent that it is CG is literally the first time it's on screen and Scott's wearing it. Because I immediately knew that it was CG. But then, yeah, for the rest of it, it's pretty well done. I still don't understand why they couldn't have just gotten real suits. Like, it would have looked better. But
I think they didn't know yet that that was going to be how they were going to do it, because in the actual scenes, it's not like they were wearing mocap suits. They were actually wearing their original costumes. Like, so they were like, Black Widow was wearing her outfit. Like, everyone was wearing their normal getups. And in fact, I think Cap was even wearing his actual Captain America outfit, and they just went over it.
right.
So I think that at the time they didn't know that they were going to utilize those suits. Plus, those suits are really expensive to get made. And so they'd have to make, at least 2 for every person. And there was a bunch of Avengers there. I think it would have taken a long time and a lot of money to do that. Whereas they could just CGI them in. But anyways, Hawkeye offers to do this test.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was cool that it was CGI.
No, yeah,
I just didn't think.
Yeah, I agree.
No, you don't.
No,
All right,
that's
you know
like
what?
that's like so cool, dude. No, like
so
I'm
glad
saying
this is
that's
the last
like,
episode.
fuck, dude. No, that's really
I can't
that's
handle
really
this anymore.
cool. Hey, hold on. Can I get some air horns, please?
Oh yeah, of course.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another exciting edition of Allison's Thoughts. So
hell yeah.
we've all come to know and love the Allison's Thoughts segment at
Of course,
this point.
yes.
Obviously, but considering that this movie was 3 hours long, I was like, you know what? Let's split up Allison's. Normally we do an Allison's
Whoa.
thoughts halfway through the movie, but I was like, you know what? Let's get 3 distinct Allison's thoughts this time around.
Okay.
So this is
That's a
exactly
lot of
1
Allison's
hour
thoughts.
into the movie. We're going to have another one, exactly 1 more hour into the movie, and then we'll have another one on the 3rd hour of the movie, which is, of course, and Allison's thoughts are as follows. Okay, 1 hour, Allison's thoughts. Geez Louise. Okay, fuck. I wasn't ready for this. You can go get a beer, how about? I'll gather my thoughts. At this point, I stood up and walked to my refrigerator, got myself a Arrogant Bastard Ale from
Nice.
Stone Brewing. Very good. It's a brewery out of San Diego. Once upon a time was like a microbrewery, but now they're fucking
Wow,
everywhere.
she
But
said all
they're
of
good.
this? That's
No,
crazy.
That's me. That's my addition. Okay.
Oh,
back to Allison. Okay. So I
Sure.
sit down, crack my Arrogant Bastard,
Okay.
and Allison
Yep.
says. So Allison's thoughts are, we are finally getting into what happens after the snap. And I gotta say, I was excited to see where they would go with that. And then very quickly realized that I fucking hate time travel movies. And that's what this is so far. Yikes.
Yikes.
There you go. That's Allison's thoughts, hour 1.
I wish I could time travel from before I heard that. All right, cool.
Yeah, she's not wrong.
Thanks,
though.
Allison.
He's not wrong. Hawkeye goes back in time.
So Hawkeye decides that he's gonna do the first test run here of time travel, and he goes back to some time in the past before the snap, and he sees his family. And I know, Christian, you were crying right here at the thought.
To be fair, he doesn't see his family. He
Almost. He
hears
hears
his
them.
family.
Sure.
And he's like, I need to see my dead daughter. And then he doesn't. And it was good. I was happy he didn't get to do that.
Okay, well, you're very nice. And so we know that it works. So now they've got to figure out a plan. When and where are they going to go, knowing that they have just enough Pym particles for every person to take 1 round trip there and back?
Then just starts to become like weird because there's like instances where they're like, it's a weird like line where they're like, hey, we're almost out of Pym particles, because then it's like later in the movie, it's like they just don't give a fuck about the Pym particles anymore. But right, because they have to go like take it from like Hank Pym, but even that shit's like weird because like we'll get to that when we get to that. I just thought the way that they handled that whole thing was odd, but it's
I'm so
fine.
surprised that you
We're not
thought that
we're
was
not
odd.
quite there. Yeah,
I'm so surprised. So yeah, it did work. So now they're going to talk about how they're going to find all of these stones, and they
Right.
start off with Thor talking about the Aether, the Reality Stone. And so he essentially, in this moment, explains everything that happened in Thor Dark World. We could have just left this and not had Dark World, and
That's
there
true.
you go. We would have had an easier time here, and we would have never had to rewatch Dark World.
Yeah.
But this is, again, another kind of view of how Chris Hemsworth changes up Thor. He's now more of like the Big Lebowski, I guess. I don't know. I still haven't seen that movie, so
Yeah, it's not good.
but I knew that you would enjoy the reference because you love that
I know,
movie
it's so funny
much.
actually, because I was just like,
Yeah.
Big Lebowski's like so fucking overrated, like one
Yeah.
podcast ago, and then they're like, oh, it's like they're just his whole character's just a fucking Big Lebowski reference now. It's like cool. Bro.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
fucking
So they
sick.
talk about
That's so cool.
now. Okay, if there was one giant plot hole in this movie that I do have to address, it is right here, and it is where they talk about the Soul Stone, and they say that it's on Vormir. And Nebula is very aware of how Thanos got the Soul Stone.
of course.
So why do they send Hawkeye and Widow by themselves for it and don't tell them that they're going to have to sacrifice one of them?
Yeah, they don't mention it at any point.
I mean, we could just say like Nebula doesn't give a shit and like doesn't think in the terms of sacrificing somebody.
Yeah, but I also think
did
at this
no
point it's
one-
kind of established that Nebula does. Like Nebula's had like sort of
Exactly,
the about face
yeah.
turn where she's like, you know what, I like these people now.
So that's definitely a plot hole
But-
for me because it's like they talk about every Infinity Stone and how they came to get them.
yeah.
But they were surprised when they encountered Red Skull and said that one of them would have to give up what they love to get the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Like that, it didn't really make any sense.
Yeah.
Also, couldn't you just like show up to like Vormir with like a,
like a teddy bear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, could I just show up? Could I just show up to Vormir with like my computer? You know, like,
Well, it has to be that which you most love.
No, my
I guess. I don't
3080.
know.
It took me a fucking year. to get-
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was weird because Chris Pratt, Peter Quill, was the reason why they didn't get the gauntlet off Thanos on Titan because he kills Gamora to get the Soul Stone. So
Yeah.
Tony knows, Nebula knows, but they're going to send Hawkeye and Widow for the Soul Stone and not tell them.
Right. Yeah.
It's
But
like
also,
you
I mean, to
planned
be
it.
fair,
It's
those
like
are
you
two-
planned it, Chris.
Those are two dumbass characters anyway. So
I
it's
know,
like,
I
so
know.
maybe they're just like sick of them, you know? It's
Yeah.
like fucking
Yeah, let's
like we're all hanging out in space and shit now. We don't need you to. Just like fucking clear
Just
a
get
little
it done.
space in here.
Just get it done.
Yeah,
just
I don't know.
figure it out.
That was a pretty big plot hole in my opinion.
I agree.
For that to happen.
I don't agree.
Go
That's
ahead.
it. That's it.
Please.
I don't agree.
Oh, okay, cool. We also get Hulk saying, "Shut the front door." He gives a little fun. He's like, "Shut the front door," and then everyone's laughing. Or
Is
people
this when
laughing
they
and-
determine that 3 of the stones are in New York at the
Yes,
same time?
That's correct. Yeah. And was everybody in the theater laughing at that point?
No, not for that.
Wow, really?
Wow.
Dead silence. You could hear a
Well,
pin
I wouldn't
drop.
say dead
They
silence. I'm
fucked
sure
that up. They
Yeah,
should have never
sure.
added that into the. People were mad.
people
They
were
heard
walking
that.
out. Yeah,
Oh,
when that
boy.
happened.
Yeah,
Um,
and then we get one of the sort of unnecessary dumb poses that I was talking about. Where they sort
where
of
they all
track
like
down
have the plan and then they all stand up next
Exactly,
to each
it's
other
like
looking at the screen.
6 stones, 3 teams, 1 shot, and then they all like, yeah, it's fucking dumb.
Except
Dumb.
Thor is still sitting down eating, by the way. So
Yeah, cool.
you didn't
Let him.
You didn't know that. Yeah. So it's not a full team pose. I'm just saying you're
Right.
wrong. Okay. So
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
sure.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Point to
and-
Dan. You win.
Avengers now walk up to the quantum platform tunnel thing
Sure.
while Cap is giving a speech, and it is one of his classic inspiring speeches to the Avengers, where Rocket then comments, "Hey, he's pretty good at that," and Ant-Man's like, "Yeah, I know, right?" Because we all love Ant-Man and the way that he basically fangirls over Captain America. And I know that part, Christian, you stood up and started clapping after
dick
the
in
speech.
hand, just spraying all over my OLED TV. I didn't even care.
Oh,
Go
wow.
buy
What a
another
show
one.
off. Okay.
Yeah.
OLED. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I spent
well-
every single one of these movies, actually, I wait until my favorite moment. I stand up. I spray piss all over my 68. I think I have a 68-inch. Which one do I have? I told you. Which one do
You
I
have,
have?
you have a 65.
I have 65.
65.
I spray piss all over my 65-inch OLED TV. Then I go out and I buy another one. All right, because
Okay.
that's the kind of life I live. All right, you
Yeah.
could all aspire to be a little more like me.
Now,
ahead.
while you knew the general idea to an extent of Endgame, I'm assuming you did not know where they were going to time travel to get these stones. And so the first place they time travel, New York, 2012, the Battle of New York, and we
Right.
see the old Avengers from
Yep.
the first Avengers movie, and you were just crying and crying at the thought of seeing these
Right.
old Avengers.
Yeah. No. Yes. I
From
had
how far
actually-
we've come, right?
I had
Yeah.
already stood up and sprayed piss all over my TV.
Sure, you were out of piss at
I
that
had
point.
I
yeah.
had broken it, so I had to
Go
drive
to the
myself to Target to buy another OLED
Yeah,
65-inch television, which I then set up promptly. Started the movie immediately. See that it's New York. See the Avengers. I stand up, pissed all over that TV.
Okay, all
had to
right.
drive back to the damn store to buy another 65-inch OLED TV for my living room, and then and now we're here.
Yeah, and by the way, those TVs are like $500 now, so that's not really that big of a flex. I spend that in a day just for fun. But yeah,
Wait, what do you spend $500 a day on just for fun?
I buy a new Roomba every day so that I don't have to empty it. Yeah.
instead of emptying
Instead of the self-emptying one, I buy a new one every day. Yeah.
Toss
and
it
then
in
you
the
throw it away. And then
Yeah.
start a new one.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man.
You got one of those
All right.
single cartridge Roombas.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's so
shit,
funny.
dude. Where are
Just
we?
imagining
All right,
you going
so-
into your closet. There's a stack of Roomba boxes.
Put it on the ground and hit the button. He like doesn't even bother to get out the charging station.
Nope. Oh man. Well, in 2012 New York, Hulk is gonna split up from the crew there when he goes to see the Ancient One. Well, he doesn't know it's gonna be the Ancient One. He goes to the Sanctum to try to find the Time Stone, and he's looking for Doctor Strange. And this is where he ends up finding the Ancient One, which is a cool little cameo moment here to have Tilda Swinton back as the Ancient One and being able to have this moment with Bruce Banner where she hits him into astral form, and we see finally Mark Ruffalo. We've been waiting. We love Mark Ruffalo, and here he is. And they talk more about the
I thought
Time
it was
Stone
kind of
and all
weird
that.
when they did that. So is Hulk just like dead?
No, Hulk's in astral form, which is like when Doctor Strange was in astral form when he fought that ghost in the Doctor Strange movie.
No. I mean, like Hulk, like because initially they're like, oh, there's kind of two entities living within Banner. There's Hulk, and then there's Banner. So it's Banner, and then it turns into Hulk. So is Hulk just gone now, and it's just Banner?
What they end up explaining in the She-Hulk series is that it's not a separate person; it's a separate personality.
Yeah,
So it is all one person with two personalities.
gotcha. But when she hits him, it's just Mark Ruffalo that comes out. So wouldn't you just have like a pissed off Hulk just destroying everything because he would still be in there?
No, because he's part of
He's part of
Banner's
Bruce
brain.
Banner.
Okay. But Banner just still looks like okay, whatever. The fuck, I just don't understand like Hulk physics now. They changed it all up in this movie.
Well, the second place we're gonna go is our favorite movie callback here in the whole movie is Asgard 2013, which
Right.
was part of Thor: Dark World.
Yes.
We really needed to go back and see more scenes from this movie. I thought it was a great way to come back to this movie. Really excited about it. But Thor is not okay in this movie. He has a panic attack as he sees his mother. Rocket is going to try to give him a speech and then slaps him across the face. But they need to get the reality stone. Yeah, the reality stone from Jane, who had just stuck her hand into the rock, I guess, and got the aether and, that whole fun storyline from Dark World.
That's
And then
right.
the third place they're going is Morag 2014.
regular
which-
ass Infinity War,
What?
right?
What?
Yeah, 'cause
Morag
it's like,
2014? No, that's Guardians 1.
oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Guardians 1. This is where we see.
I was thinking,
well,
I was thinking of the Red Skull planet.
well, yeah. So I mean, there's two groups in this Morag 2014. It's Rhodes and Nebula, and then it's Hawkeye and Widow. They
Right.
all go to 2014 at the same time. And Rhodes and Nebula are going to go find Peter Quill, who's getting the Power Stone, and then Hawkeye and Widow are going to go get the Soul Stone on Vormir.
And they're like, and Nebula's like, we have to hurry because there's other people who also
looking.
know who are looking. It's like, who's looking?
Yeah.
It's like, my father, my sister, and me.
Dun
Yeah.
dun dun.
Not good. Didn't like it.
Okay. Well, I
Couldn't
thought-
have been there.
All right. They.
Shame on you.
Okay. Did you? I'm curious if you like this moment where we see Peter back from Guardians 1 doing his dancing intro from the start
Yeah.
of the first Guardians movie, but this time we get to see it from the outside perspective, which is just him singing really terribly, and then Rhodes says, "Oh, so he's an idiot then."
Right.
And I thought it was funny to see the outside perspective of that, seeing like him singing, just walking around being an idiot. I don't know. I thought that was
mean,
fun.
Did I like it? No.
No,
Did
of
I
course
did I
not.
not like it? Also, no, I just no real strong emotion attached to that at all.
Man, it must suck to just hate fun things like that.
Dude, listen, I love fun things, bro. You want to have
I don't think
you want
so.
to have a nice fun thing podcast? I can show you all sorts of fun things. It's just
Well,
none of
that
them
we
are
can't
the
air.
Peter Quill scene in motherfucking
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame.
Okay. All right. Well, those are the three groups. We get a bit of a flashback here with the old school past Gamora and Nebula. They're fighting some random monsters, and they're going to go talk to Thanos about the Infinity Stones when Nebula starts to malfunction, and she is connected to the other Nebula who's on Morag right now,
right.
trying to get the
I
Power
thought
Stone.
this whole like B plot thing was kind of dumb because it's
Oh,
like,
I
okay.
agree.
well, I know, but wouldn't like Nebula like know that like something like I mean, because Nebula's Nebula. So it's like, why wouldn't like they, you know, because Nebula could have just like given them the information and then just like gone to New York, and then instead
Well,
you just
why-
have one of the
Why
other
would
guys.
she know if there's never been two Nebulas in the same world at the same
No,
time?
because she's like, you know, she's like aware of how all her shit goes, you know, like how it all functions. Because
I don't think
she's
she
like,
fully
oh
is.
shit, I'm here, you know. I don't know, like she knows that she's going to be in the general vicinity. And then she like connects to her like via like Bluetooth, what's there's some like Wi-Fi thing
yeah,
happening.
super Bluetooth. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like,
Yeah, it's-
but it has to be because it's like it's not happening to any of the other people. So it's like it's only happening because she's
Well,
a
because she's an
machine.
android. Yeah, she's a
Right.
machine. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
she hasn't like updated her operating system since 2014.
Yeah, or something. But also, it's like how? Yeah, it's like it just. Then they're like, oh, now we can see the other one's memories because they're quantumly entangled. And it's like, but
Yeah,
only her.
easy. Yeah.
You
Yeah, because
know?
they're a robot. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
They're
like,
they're entangled as a
it's-
robot.
yeah, it's like I think that you could have like had that like make more sense if all of a sudden it's like, you know, in the other timelines people were like having like weird fucking flashes of other things, and it was like, but it's like it's just her. But it's like again, it's like is it like a signal? Are they like both sending out? They're sending out like
Yes.
signal. They're sending out like Android.
Yeah,
like,
they're
Wi-Fi
both like
signals.
tuned into the same radio frequency. They're both on
Yeah.
like 104.9.
Oh boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like what? It you know, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I didn't like it. I'll tell you that much right
Well,
now.
they realize there's something going on, and so they're going to go look for him. But
Yeah.
before we see the memories, we're back at Avengers Tower at the end of Avengers, the first movie, where Tony, now future Tony, walks in very quietly, which they're looking at the end of the Avengers movie, which is the old school Avengers talking to Loki as they've captured him.
Right.
And finally, Loki's staff is back again.
Thank God.
Yeah, this is the cameo we've been waiting for. Is Loki's
I was like, damn
staff?
it. I wonder when that staff's going to come into play again. And we get, by the way, another just like we actually get like another weird rule breaking staff thing when Captain America touches himself in the chest with the staff, and it's like what's happening?
Yeah, he used it to knock him out, right?
Yeah, because it can
That's
just
what
do
they
that
did
too.
to Hawkeye. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but with Hawkeye they didn't knock him out. They like mind controlled him. Like I don't think we've ever seen the staff just
Yeah,
touch
they
someone in the
mind
chest.
controlled him to go to sleep.
But see,
Yeah.
again, it's like okay, so it does that. You know,
Yeah,
I
it's
just, I don't,
Loki's staff. Of course
Still
it does
mind
that.
I don't like
yeah.
his fucking staff, bro.
Oh, God.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, this is where we see America's ass.
Yes, we do.
see
Didn't like
Loki's
that either.
staff.
Hold on. Wait.
I know, I
Oh
know.
my God. Again, I'm on fire. All right. I'm hyped up. I'm amped. Talking about all the things I didn't like. This is it. This is we're
Yeah.
coming in hot. Again, it's just that transition from like okay, actual like sort of like serious like subject matter, a serious universe taking itself seriously, to America's ass, which is just the sort of cheesy, campy,
Well, it's Paul Rudd saying
jokey-
it, so that's okay.
Right, but then Captain America says it about himself later too in a little
Hell
joke
yeah.
callback where he's like, "Oh, I guess this really is America's." No, and I'm like, "All your friends are dead. They're all dead." Like, what the fuck, dude? You know? But whatever.
Well,
Anyway.
anyways, Crossbones, Rumlow from the
that guy.
Captain America Winter Soldier is here. They're here to pick up the scepter, and they're going to take it away. And they're in the elevator when Cap
Oh my God.
shows up in the elevator with them.
Oh my God.
And we're like, oh no, what's going to happen? But turns out Cap is going to play them by pretending he is also part of Hydra. And finally, we get another Hail Hydra. Every
God.
Hail Hydra is a banger. I know we've
Everyone.
enjoyed every one of them.
Every single one. This was actually the
when
point
Captain
in time
America-
where, wouldn't you know it, I pissed all over my TV. I
Yeah,
had to
well,
buy
when
another
Captain
damn
America-
65-inch OLED.
I'm just saying, go watch the audience reaction, which I know you're going to do right after this
course.
podcast.
Yeah, of course.
When Captain America says Hail Hydra, the crowd goes wild. So
That's, it's sad to me. I don't like that. I don't like knowing that, I guess.
Yep, I know, but that's why I'm telling you all of it. So you're welcome. Anyway, so they're going to create a distraction by having Ant-Man go into Tony's old school past Tony's arc reactor to knock him out in the middle of that crowd so that they'll drop the Tesseract, which is in a case. And this doesn't go so well. And by the way, this is where you mentioned... remember when we talked about Loki dying,
Right. This
and
is
you're
how
like,
Loki's going to have the spin-off show, is that he grabs the
Exactly.
thing, and now he has created a divergent timeline where he isn't dead. Yep.
well, and this is where we're also going to see that the Loki that we get in that show doesn't have all the progression that he's had in the MCU. He's only up until the Avengers Loki.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Right. So then we're going to kind of get to explore deeper about who Loki is and all that through the Loki TV show. But yes, this is where it starts, is we see
I
this
won't.
scene. Well, you will
Others
probably,
may.
because you're going to be
But-
so curious after
Not me.
this that you're going to probably watch it. So
No, they would need to make like a Maria Hill backstory show. I'd watch that.
that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., isn't she in that?
No.
Or no? I don't know. I didn't watch it. so.
Colson's in that
Not
one.
watching it then. Oh,
All
Coulson,
right.
I actually
no, thank
watched
God.
I actually watched like four seasons of that, and
4 seasons.
Yeah.
Why?
because I was like 19
Depressed?
years old and depressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is where past Captain America runs into future Captain America and thinks it's Loki, and so they're gonna fight each other here.
Which like it's like just you could probably just like kind of explain like a circumstantial thing, or at least try. I just think it's interesting. Like it happens a few times throughout this thing where it's like again just like a simple little like, hey man, listen, I something only Captain America would know. I'm you from the future. Please give me this fist bump. All right, we're out. But instead they just like have to beat up each other. And then, like, who knows what the ramifications of using the staff on Captain America were? Like, no, dude. Like, what's that staff doing into the future?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Also, like the fact
Well,
that
the idea.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the idea is again they're gonna bring all of those things back to the exact moment where they took them,
Right.
because they have to ensure that it doesn't destroy the world.
So this like won't happen once they returned everything, right?
Yeah. So the idea is they're going to return all the stones back to the moment that they were stolen so that the world continues as it was. Which we're going to find out more about the TVA, which is the Time Variance Authority, which manages the timeline and understood that this moment in time was a fixed moment where the Avengers would fight Thanos, go back in time, get the Infinity Anyways, it's a long story that Christian, I'm sure, wants to see
Yeah.
for himself when
No,
he
that
watches
sounds-
the Loki TV show.
Yeah, it sounds really
Yeah,
like
you're gonna
interesting.
love it.
Cool.
All right, moving on. Now we get where Ancient One and Banner are talking about the timeline. They're talking about how the multiverse works and that, yeah, they could take the stones now, but that will create an alternate branch reality if they don't fix it. And so this is just a bit more explanation. And finally, the Ancient One hands over the time stone because
After
she says
saying-
strange.
After, so Hulk is like, maybe he made a mistake, or I did. And again, just another disgustery moment I wrote down.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, dude.
Also,
so
hold on. Wait.
yeah,
No, sorry.
no,
You know what?
You go ahead, and then because
Yeah.
it's kind of tangential.
Can't you like not touch the stones? Isn't there like a big thing like in every movie up until this point where it's like you touch the stones and it's like you get the entire power of the fucking Infinity Stones surging through? That was like the whole thing in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it almost killed him because he touched. And then this movie they're just fucking there's double fisting stones going back in time. What's going on with that?
The only person that actually touches a stone is Hulk.
Yeah, when he puts them all in the glove.
Well, no, because
No,
she's
no,
like,
no,
here.
no, no. When he touches the actual stone.
Oh.
And it is Hulk, and Hulk does explain that it is mostly gamma radiation. My guess is, I don't know, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
It's just so stupid.
But also, the Ancient One isn't holding it. It's in between her fingers. Like, it's being held in between, right? So
Okay.
Yeah, she's
You're
like making
still-
it float. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you accidentally touch it, it'll like blow your arm off.
yeah.
Maybe.
Something like
Or
that.
maybe that was just
Okay.
the Power Stone, which
Sure,
is
yeah.
the one that the Guardians touched, which is the one that Thanos breaks off at the end of the movie with Captain Marvel. So maybe it's only the Power Stone that does that.
Maybe
'Cause
maybe
there's
the time stone, if she
power.
like touches the time stone, it turns her arm into like a baby arm, and then she just has to go the rest of her life with a baby
Yeah.
arm hanging off her body.
Ooh, that'd
Yeah.
be cool.
Yeah, that'd be
like
awesome.
in Deadpool when he gets his legs chopped off and he grows back baby legs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Anyway, I was
anyways.
gonna bring up a point about how she says that how Doctor Strange is supposed to be the best of us, right? Like the best sorcerer and like the one who keeps everything in check and whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking back to like Doctor Strange 2, and it's like that's obviously not true. There are so many multiverses where Doctor Strange is actually like the worst part of that, and like he's like an unraveling being
But
who like
not
destroys reality.
in their universe.
Yeah, but she's supposed to keep the multiverse in check. No, she's not only
But
in
at
charge.
that time, remember, the multiverse is in check because the TVA is still in existence at that point. The TVA only goes out of existence, creating the multiverse at the end of Loki. Remember, the whole point of the TVA is to cut off branching timelines to essentially stop the multiverse, to stop Kang from all of his multiversal selves from starting a
Wait,
time
so you're
war
saying
again.
there aren't any branching timelines at all at this point?
Nope. That's the whole point, is that we are on the prime timeline right now. But at the end of Loki, when they kill He Who Remains, that's when the timeline breaks apart. Kang shows up, the multiverse opens, and all that shit starts.
Okay.
Woo! All right.
All right.
Sounds
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well, anyways, we're back with Ebony Maw, thank goodness, and Thanos, who are looking into Nebula's brain. And this is where they're going to be able to see the future, essentially. They're going to be able to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, she gets
and,
like, dude. Yeah, she has that little fucking like hollow snitch in her head, dude. It just causes nothing but issues for her.
what a snitch. And yeah, so they're going to see that he succeeds in getting the Infinity Stones and taking out half of the world. And Thanos is like smiling. He's like the happiest he's ever been in that moment, seeing that he succeeds, and says, "I am inevitable," which allows past Thanos to say that again to the Avengers later on. Right? So, to really shove it in their faces.
Yeah.
Sure.
He says it like 3 times in this movie.
He does,
Twice?
He says it at the beginning, then he says it
Oh, in the playback, I guess.
And then he says it no, not even so in 4 times.
Wait,
Because
what's the third
he
time?
also says it at the end of the battle, like when he's about to die.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's
yeah, well,
about
yeah,
to,
no,
right?
when because he's like, I am inevitable.
Yeah,
and
right
he
before he
snaps,
snaps,
but
That's
then,
two.
But then,
Oh, so like right
it's
now.
the first time he says
Okay,
it at the
that's
start of the
3, that's 3.
movie, hologram, and yeah, okay, cool. All right, and then
Too
we're
many
back.
times.
wow, you
Too
know
many
what,
times.
Dan? You're right. I love this movie.
Thank you so much. I'm glad
So
that I could
welcome. I
convince
hadn't
you.
realized he only said it 3 times. Now that I know that,
Yep.
I was wrong.
This is where they're going to get the Aether from Asgard 2014 because Thor's mom catches him and knows that he's from the future, doesn't want to know about what's going to happen.
I know. It's just like fucking. That's so dumb.
Hey, you know what? He gets
the
another
whole-
moment with his mom.
Yeah, I
It's-
know, but
it's
like,
nice.
but who gives a fuck?
Can I
And
be
it's
honest
like,
with you guys? Like, I have
Yeah.
a confession to make, okay?
Okay,
Uh-huh.
please.
And I wasn't going to say this out of respect to, the people on this podcast and the hard work that you guys have put in. And, the viewers watching or listening at home who take this
Of
very
course, right?
seriously. This is about
Yes.
the point of the movie where I realized that I had another tab on my computer open. And that tab had Marvel Snap on it. And I was
Sure.
like, Now's about a good time to play a game of Marvel Snap. So I missed
Why not?
probably the next 20 minutes of the movie because I was so bored at this point.
Oh,
I just had to play Marvel
the
Snap.
life. All
Yeah,
right. Well, at
we
least
get-
you're contributing to Marvel's bottom line, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that's all Dan wants.
That's all that matters.
No, we get the we get the line. Which is like, the future hasn't been kind to you, has it? Which is dumb. And then he's like,
But it
Mom,
hasn't,
I have to tell you something. And then she's like, I would prefer not to know. And he's like, no, but really, she's like, no, don't tell me.
Hey,
and he's like,
did you say that
"Okay."
about Doc Brown in Back to the Future when he said he didn't want to know about his future? Come
Dude,
on.
I saw Back to the Future once when I was like 6 and didn't care for it enough to ever revisit that
Yeah.
chapter. So-
I could just see 6-year-old Christian reviewing movies like this. That was a disgustatory line. I hated this shit. He just spit out. By the way, he took a drink from his beverage and spit it out when I said that. That was...
Yeah, actually, I unironically just did a fucking spit take all over myself. Goddamn.
Oh, that was worth it.
Oh, fuck. Dude, we're almost done. This is it, bro.
Hey, come on. Look, Thor calls for Mjolnir. He gets
Yep.
it, and he says, I'm still worthy. Come on.
Yep.
It was a nice line to see a depressed Thor where he thought it was, just not worthy anymore. Get Mjolnir. It was a clapping moment, right? Come on.
Sure.
So I'll make sure to share that audience reaction with you because I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Yes, I would, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nebula.
Oh, wait, yeah, hold on. Yeah, I wrote, he knows in all caps for some reason. It's probably Thanos. Thanos is like aware.
Yeah.
Are we back to a Thanos part?
Yeah,
that makes sense?
they know that they're going for the Power Stone, and Nebula and Rhodes have just gotten it as Thanos is watching the memory of I am inevitable. And so they know that they're going for it. They got to go try to stop them. But now we're headed to Ant-Man, Tony, and Cap, who are talking about how they messed up by losing the Tesseract to Loki. So they're out on the street here talking about it. And so Tony and Cap come up with another idea. And their idea ends up being that they are going to go back in the past with their final jump using the Pym particles
Right.
to 1970.
Yes.
And this is where we're going to get a Stan Lee cameo.
Also, who says, thanks for the pep talk, piss ant?
Tony.
It's a disgustery. I wrote that down. We do get our final Stan Lee cameo.
Yep.
Who
Make
says,
love,
make love,
not war.
Not war, man, or something like that.
Yep. Yep. And that's the last one from him.
Yeah, ever.
And then we're going to see, essentially the goal there is Tony and Cap are going to split up. Cap's going to be looking for some more Pym particles, and Tony's going to be looking for the Tesseract.
And so I kind of said it earlier, but this is the one where I'm like, you could absolutely explain this situation to Hank Pym and have him be like, oh, that makes complete sense, and here, let me actually help you out. That was where they have to do this trickery thing to I'm like, so maybe the explanation to Captain America would have still ended up being a fight. But you're just like, okay, hey, listen, dude, quantum universe exists. Check it out. I'm from the future. It's the Pym particle. You're like a scientist. You're working on this shit. I need more Pym. Because at this point, he's already discovered the Pym particle because they're trying to steal Pym particles from him.
But remember, their goal is that they're going to try to leave this world as close to similar as it was
But it doesn't
before.
matter because they're just putting the Infinity Stones back anyway, which is going to close it off, right? So it's so who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying,
Maybe.
this one in particular, I'm like, and I
But
actually
imagine how
think-
much more time it would have taken, though, for them to try to explain it to Hank. Hopefully, he doesn't call security. Hopefully, they don't kick him out of the complex.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they don't have to try again and waste a bunch of time.
I don't think they would have because there's definitive proof. He's boop, showing up with Pym particles in Pym suit shit.
True.
It's Pym makes the particles. And it could have been an interesting scene. Because a young Hank Pym comes to this sort of full understanding that all of his research actually matters and saves humanity in the future. Because Hank Pym is sort of this bitter old man by the time that we get around to him, so it would have been sort of a fun close of the Hank Pym timeline thing because he realizes that all the research he's doing actually matters.
But also, this was a 3-hour movie already.
It's a 3-hour movie. Yeah. I'm just saying, dude, like a little 5-minute scene.
Yeah, they could have taken out like a lot of time with like the taco jokes and like with
That's
Smart
true.
No,
Hulk.
the taco joke had to stay.
Oh,
So-
yeah. They could have just gotten rid of the talk. Could have gotten rid of Smart Hulk altogether.
Yeah.
Get rid of every single
Oh,
scene with
boy.
Ronan in it, except for the one where his family dies, and we make that one twice as long. Instead of getting quickly dusted, his wife and children are dusted very, very slowly as they're screaming.
Sure.
Their head's the last thing to go.
Well,
So you can hear the screams.
Cap grabs the particles, and then he is hiding because they realize that there's intruders, so he's going to go hide in an office. Turns out the office that he hides in is Peggy Carter's office, and he
And he's
sees
just
Peggy
staring
Carter.
at Peggy Carter like 2 feet away, and it's like, oh, it's cool that she's not like looking up, dude. That could really like fucking that'd be weird, pretty awkward, you know.
Yep, he's just staring at her. But Tony and Howard now are going to have a conversation because as Tony is looking for that Tesseract, Howard Stark is here.
Which is
and
bad
says-
news, dude. That's a movie no. You don't want to close up your arc, Tony. That's it's not good. Like with it, like it's like as soon
Closing
as,
up your story arc.
yep,
You should
I'm
have
like,
known.
oh shit, dude, it all came full circle. That's it for you, bro. You don't.
Yeah,
you don't.
you
You
should
don't
have
get to
known the
move past
moment.
this.
Yeah, the moment that you saw your own dad, you should have known you were gonna die.
Yeah,
That-
the moment you saw your own dad and had unresolved feelings about it, you should have gone out of your way to not have a fucking conversation with the dude. Because the minute those feelings get resolved, it is over for you, man.
Yep. Well, they have an interesting conversation about kids, and then they hug very weirdly at the
Yep.
end because, you know, obviously Howard doesn't know that it's his kid there. And they also reveal that Jarvis is the name of their butler. And so there you go.
Who is the guy?
Yeah. What's that?
Who is the guy, right? Like, that's like the dude that plays Vision.
No, that's not the dude who plays Vision.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, word. I thought it was. It looked like him.
Nope. It's not.
Who is it,
Yeah,
then? Is it just some guy?
Some guy. Yeah.
Huh.
That's it. Yeah. It's just some guy. Anyway, so past Nebula and Gamora are interrogating future Nebula now, which is just getting real confusing. But this is where I think Nebula is going to take that gold piece off of future Nebula's head so that she can pretend to be her as they go into the future. But now, for your favorite part, Widow and Hawkeye make it to Vormir. We get to see Red Skull again, and this is where they inform that they're going to have to make a sacrifice to get the Soul Stone. And this is where Hawkeye and Widow are going to be in a fight to determine who's going to be the one to jump off the cliff. I mean, realistically,
So stupid.
obviously it has to be Widow.
Yeah, because she's a fucking childless monster.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not...
my thoughts
Yeah, which is-
exactly.
Yeah, it's like, you know. We
If
also had
only
a discuss.
Hawkeye said
Hold on,
that.
hold on. Discussory line. You're weak. I'm you. Stupid fucking line. What? Get that out there. Okay, that happened.
okay.
But now we're here. But yeah, so for sure, no, that's fucking dumb. And then it's like this guy, like Ronan, Hawkeye, his whole character arc has been trying to like get to the end. He can see his fucking family.
Yeah.
Then you have Black Widow, and she can't even have a fucking family. Oh my god! You know what I'm saying? I'm by the rules that they set up in this
Yep.
universe. Obviously,
Whedon.
according to Joss Whedon, it would be
ruined
really
it.
fucked up
Yeah.
to let Black Widow live past this moment.
Yeah.
So you know, yeah, it's true.
Well,
I mean, this is Joss Whedon. Fucking
Yeah. Thanks, Joss Whedon.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, anyways, Hawkeye jumps off, and Widow like grapples and like hooks him onto it, and then she's holding on by her one hand, and she says, "Let go," and she jumps off the side of the cliff and falls to her death, and that's it. Black Widow is dead. End of Avengers Endgame. That's the movie.
Right. Well, and then
It's all
also, Hawkeye jumps off the cliff fully expecting to die
Yep.
and is like, tell my family I love that. Which again, like, it's like, it's just dumb. Like, I feel like, really, like, in this scenario, like, I don't think Hawkeye, who has, like, only subsisted over the past 5 years out of this, like, burning primal hatred, needing revenge for what happened to his family, would just be like, oh, but I'll kill myself for Natasha. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it's like, I almost feel like you had, like, two characters here and you had to build, like, tension in this moment. And they were like, oh, how are we going to make the tension, And there's like, oh, we'll have them both try to commit suicide. It's like, okay.
I feel like Hawkeye isn't 100% certain they're going to succeed in bringing everyone back. And if they don't, he's just going to go back to being Ronin and killing everybody. So why doesn't he just kill himself there? There's no point to his continued existence if the family's not going to be back.
Right, but the only reason he's doing any of this shit in the first place is because of the slim margin that his family might come back. So, like, would he just kill himself and not even have the opportunity to see it? I don't know. I'm saying it doesn't seem like it's in character. It seems like, honestly, Natasha probably could have convinced him without the whole hullabaloo of him literally trying to commit suicide. It just felt like, again, Flanderization, say it again. But
he also wasn't... He wasn't also super into the idea of seeing another person he loved die.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, that's like his daughter and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I get. Yeah.
So,
well, so Widow is dead. And then everyone is now back in the present. They have all the stones, but there is no Black Widow.
And a fake Nebula.
Fake Nebula. We do have to get a little bit of anger from Hulk because Joss Whedon screwed up the entire MCU by making them romantic interests at some point. And so they are all talking at the lake, and Hulk throws a bench really far away.
Right.
So there's
and then while they're talking about her, they say, "Do you know if she had a family?" Yeah, us.
But then what we find out in the Black Widow movie that comes out in the fourth phase is that she actually had like a full family and a sister that Hawkeye knew about, and that Hawkeye like
just neglected to mention at that moment.
yeah. So
cool.
that's fun. And yes. So now they're gonna assemble the stones into the Iron Gauntlet. Yep. Which is the glove that Tony makes to hold the stones in place, and they're gonna make their own version of it so they can try to snap people back into existence. And they need to figure out who's gonna do the snapping. Thor offers himself up, but that would have been terrible to try to see him do it, because the way that I understand it is when you snap, you have to like be mentally understanding what it is you want to have happen. And I don't think Thor was in a mental headspace to do that right.
But fortunately, we come to find that, like, of course, it's got to be Hulk because the radiation, thank God, it's mostly gamma, which that's so convenient and good that we now know that the radiation is mostly gamma, so Hulk can be the one to fucking snap.
Exactly.
It's just like, that's super cool. It's like really good writing.
And it would kill any other human that would try to use the stones.
And it would kill him too, if it weren't for the fact that the radiation is mostly gamma. So that's good because, whew.
Yep, that's it.
Very convenient.
So now the Hulk is going to put this glove on, and he's going to try to snap. They enact the barn door protocol to close down Avengers Campus, but Nebula is calling in 2014 Thanos to come into the future through the quantum tunnel at the same time. Of course, and then we get Snap 2.
The second Snap 2.
The snapping.
The snapping. Fuck yeah, dude.
Yep. So the snapping happens, and they think that it might have worked.
Right.
And
because
all of a sudden, Hawkeye's.
Back.
So, okay, I said there was only one major plot hole I was going to address. There's one more that I'm going to address, and it's because it's technology-based, and I have to acknowledge all the technology-based plot holes. So they snap, the things go up, they see the outside, the phone is ringing, it's Hawkeye's wife. Why is her cell phone still on? Is he still paying the bill? Did they leave the phone at home in case she needed it? Why is that number still existing? Like, what? Why does she have a phone that's ready to be used? Did she have the phone on her? Was it in the quantum?
Everyone who got snapped They kept their lines open out of respect. It was
Yeah.
like
Okay,
a
gotcha.
tribute
Also-
by the phone companies.
So I have
Sure.
a way more like minor nitpick of this,
Yeah.
but I thought when his wife calls, it's such a funny picture that's on the phone because she like looks scared. Like it's this weird picture of this woman where I'm just like, that would not be the thing. It's like she looks like horrified. Like, and I couldn't get past it. I was like, it's a bad photo. I would not have used that for my wife.
I guess I didn't notice that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But hey, can I get
But
some air
anyway-
horns?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting edition of Allison's Thoughts, Hour 2. This is
Let's
exactly
Wow, here we go.
2 hours into the movie. So
Hell
you
yeah.
heard the Hour 1. Now we're into the Hour 2. Verbatim. All right, here we go. All right, on to second Allison Thoughts. I think that some of these scenes in the past hour were probably really cool if you were in love with any of these characters and their backstories. So I get the appeal for the diehard fans. I understand it. I don't know what they're going to do in the next hour. Not my favorite movie. I can't believe we have to watch another hour. Let's go. There you go. That's
And
Allison-
this is why
Allison
you're married
thoughts
to
right there.
Allison.
It's true, yeah. No, I know. We
Yep.
we feel similarly about things.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's only 2 people in this world that hate things like you two do. So
Yeah, well,
congratulations on finding each other.
Yeah, totally.
Or paying her until she felt that way, I guess.
Right, yeah, that too.
Sure. Well,
Hold
the
on.
good news doesn't stay for very long. As soon as they realize that it seemed to have worked, Thanos sprays missiles down onto Avengers campus and just absolutely demolishes it. But nobody dies in this.
Yeah, that would have been,
this
oh my
attack.
God, real inconvenient.
Yeah. Fortunately, nobody dies, but they are stuck underground in the rubble of Avengers campus.
Yep.
It is, yeah, not good. And so everyone's underground. Hawkeye has the gauntlet. Thank goodness. If there was anybody we were going to trust with the gauntlet after that all happened, it would be Hawkeye.
And I think it's Tony Stark that has the line that's like, you mess with time, it tends to mess back. And it's like, how the fuck do you know? This is the first time you've ever done this. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're just like saying shit to say it, you know?
Yeah, dude, because it sounds cool.
Yeah. It doesn't,
Yeah.
though. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
it sounded
whatever
really
the
cool
opposite
to
of
me,
cool is,
yeah.
that's how, you know, you mess with time, it tends to mess back. Shut up, Tony Stark.
Well, yep.
I say. That's what I say.
And so Tony, Cap, and Thor get out of the wreck, and they're kind of above, at kind of a higher level where they're overlooking the wreckage, and they see Thanos there sitting down, waiting for them to show up.
Yep.
And
Kinda
so
cool. I
they're.
don't know.
Yeah, no, this was cool because this is where they decide that they don't much care if it's a trap, but they're going to fight him anyways. And so this is where Thor suits up for the first time in his Thor outfit, and his 2 hammers, and his beard is braided, and his hair is like nice organized, and he's looking super badass. And so the original 3, Thor, Cap, and Iron Man, slowly walk up to Thanos in a slow motion walk up, where Thanos is going to talk to them about the fact that next time he's going to just kill everyone, because you can't just kill half, because the other half doesn't realize the blessing that he gave them,
Right.
to be able to survive in a more suitable world for themselves.
Yeah.
And so
That's
begins
fair.
the fighting. That's it. This is a 3v1 where they're going to fight against Thanos.
Yeah, well, also establishing in here something that's going to take place a little later is that we do get ourselves a classic Freaky Friday styled situation with nebulas too.
Right.
Like the nebulas are
Yeah.
like talking to one another, and the Gamora's like, which nebula do I want to trust? And who knows how that one's gonna play out? Not me. I was at the edge of my seat.
I know. I know.
I don't. So don't spoil it
sure.
for me yet. We'll
Okay.
get there, though.
Yep. And so in the background here, we're seeing that Hulk and Rhodes and Rocket and Ant-Man are all trying to escape from underneath the facility. Hawkeye is running away from Thanos' monster army with the gauntlet. And so we get to see him use the bow a couple more times. I know. And it wasn't a floppy bow this time, at least.
But he still does
we didn't
the
get
arm
any
thing. It's not a floppy bow, but he 100%, dude. Because I'm always looking for it. Yeah. He does the thing where he after he shoots a bunch, he's like, he does the little bow punch thing. It's just fucking dumb, dude.
Yeah,
dude, I fucking. It is insane that character got to just be in all of these movies.
And not only that, by the way, did you watch the credits?
I mean, I skimmed through them.
Yeah, so at the end credits, they have the standard kind of black and white text, and then when they get to the main cast, it shows a brief montage, and then their signature, and it's one of them was Hawkeye. He was good. He was he was central enough to get his own, 10-second montage with his signature on screen.
Can you just imagine what a fucking dork ass loser you would have to be Hawkeye is my fate, because that there's motherfuckers out there with
I've seen them
with Jeremy Renner action figures and shit.
Yeah.
It's ugh,
well,
dude, no.
And he also gets his own Hawkeye TV show. So
wait, does he?
Oh, you didn't know that? There's a Hawkeye Disney Plus show. It's 6 episodes.
Oh no, and it's Jeremy Renner.
Yep,
it's Jeremy Renner. Yeah,
the crack smoking Jeremy Renner, dude. Fuck.
Okay, yes.
But also,
crack cocaine enthusiast Jeremy Renner.
Yeah,
wait, Kingpin, fucking
Vincent D'Onofrio.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio.
He is so good.
He's the only reason I even watched Daredevil. Daredevil kind of sucked, other than the fact that Vincent D'Onofrio was fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, Hawkeye introduces Kingpin back into the MCU as an official MCU character, which then is setting up Daredevil Born Again, which is the new MCU version of Daredevil, which is going to come out in 2024.
Wow, can't wait.
Yeah, and it's going to have Vincent D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox and all those guys, so should be cool.
Charlie who?
The Daredevil
Charlie
guy.
Penis, sorry. Charlie Cox.
Charlie what?
Okay,
come on, that's not his name.
That is his name. It's Charlie Cox.
That's listen, dude. At that point, we were talking about stage names. It's if you're a Hollywood actor and your last name is literally Cox, you could just pick a different thing to be your you don't have to. It's that's insulting.
Or you don't have to, because then 3 nerds doing a podcast will talk about your name for an extended period of time.
We'll talk about your name, but I'll never respect you.
Okay, well, that's what he needed, was Christian's respect.
I think so. I think we could all use a little more of that.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Hawkeye gets away, and he gives the gauntlet to the wrong Nebula.
Oh, fuck.
Father, I have the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Shit. But Gamora and future Nebula are there, and they stop her, and they kill her. Hey, sucks to be you, past Nebula, you're dead. Which, how does that work with restoring the timeline? I don't know. It doesn't. I'm not really sure.
Well, it doesn't matter, because again, they're just going.
They're going to return the Infinity Stones and cut off all the alternate
none
futures.
Of it matters. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. I'm glad that you've now explained the multiverse to us, and now you get it. Now it's a 10 out of 10 movie for you.
It's not. I would not say that.
We're back on the field here, and Tony, Cap, and Thor are fighting Thanos. This is cool, where Tony gets powered up by Thor's lightning to use a super blast from his suit. I think they also did this in Avengers 1, right?
Maybe.
Where Thor is fighting against them, and he uses the thunder to try to take down Tony, but it just supercharges his suit up.
Oh yeah, and he hits him with the
in the
beam.
forest, and then Loki's watching.
And so this time it was intentional to go up against Thanos.
Right after we established that Captain America is canonically Christian.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's only one God that he looks at. So,
above all others.
Yep, and so Thor is being beaten down, and Cap gets knocked out, and Thanos is stabbing Thor with Stormbreaker, and Iron Man is on the ground, and he's knocked out. What's going to happen? I don't know. Mjolnir starts rising off the ground, and this is the moment where the audience, everybody starts pissing their pants in this moment in the theater. because after 22 movies, Cap takes Mjolnir in hand, and he...
You know what's so funny about that to me?
What's that?
So I've been like being like jokey and like, you know, whatever. It's the last podcast. I'm excited. I've had a lot of fun recording this, right? You know, I'm just fucking like whatever. But like this is like no bit, no joke, like just 100% earnest sincerity. I did not give a fuck about this. So it's just so funny to me that it's like, oh, this was like, it's because it's just like, okay. So what? So he's like worthy to wield Mjolnir?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, who cares? The fucking who
Everybody
gives a shit?
cares.
No, it's just like it doesn't matter. Like
It does matter.
it's not that interesting.
It is
because
that
I'll-
interesting.
Because I'm just saying that it's like, you know, if there was like a discernible metric on like who is worthy to wield Mjolnir versus who is not worthy to wield Mjolnir, but it's like it's just this like this vague.
It's the fan service, dude. This is it. It's fan service. And guess what? It worked.
Yeah, I guess.
It worked. It worked $2.8 billion worth.
I'm just saying that if there was like some metric that needed to be hit, and then Captain America hits the metric, it would have shown like character growth and development.
No, the
but
whole
there's no
point was
growth
that
or
he was
development.
always worthy, and the
Right.
whole idea was,
Well, except for
did
that one
he
time
actually?
he tried to pick it up and he couldn't.
No, but that's the thing that we're revealing here is that he could have, but he didn't to not embarrass Thor.
No, I don't think that
Yeah,
that's
the
true.
theory.
It's 100% it, and that's what the directors have said as well.
That's so fucking stupid. What the fuck is wrong with
Because
the fucking
if you can move the hammer, you could pick it up. And when it moved, that already showed that he was worthy. Because Tony, Rhodes, all of them who tried to lift it, two of them at
Yeah.
the same time, they didn't even move it. But the fact that it like wiggled slightly already showed that he was worthy, but he didn't lift it to not embarrass Thor.
didn't lift it to not embarrass Thor.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Okay.
That's
yeah,
why Thor said, I knew it when he
Uh-huh.
picked up the hammer.
Yeah, okay, cool. That's fantastic.
And everybody clapped.
It just doesn't matter. It's fucking.
It does matter.
It just-
and so I'm glad you
does
agree that
not.
it matters.
Yeah.
So
Jesus
Cap
fuck.
uses the hammer and the shield in really interesting ways. He like throws the shield back behind Thanos, then he throws the hammer at it, which like hits a sound wave and knocks Thanos over. Then he uses lightning via the hammer and takes him down. Come on, this is a cool part here, and I don't know. I mean, I loved watching this scene.
I know you did. I fucking know you did. The
I know,
entire
yeah.
time I was watching this, I was like, I bet Dan is just having such a good fucking time right now.
Yeah, dude, this is fun, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. Just
Yeah.
have fun, Christian.
I
Just
don't know,
have
dude.
Fun, okay?
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of fun. Just, you know, none of it while watching a 1 hour long fight scene at the end of Avengers Endgame.
Yep. Anyway, so Thanos finally gets the one up on Cap, destroys his shield in half. They're all down. It's the all hope is lost moment of the movie where Cap stands up. He's by himself. Everyone else has been knocked out in some way.
Yeah.
And he's looking at an army of Thanos and all of
this
his
is it.
monsters and Ebony Maw. And oh man, what are we going to do? And then, Cap, can you read me? On your left.
On your left. Oh, my
my
God.
God, he
They
said
said it.
Hell
He said
They
it.
said
yes, dude.
Fuck,
Hell yeah. And then a portal opens up, Black Panther walks through, and then a bunch of portals open up. And this music is epic, and there's Guardians and Spider-Man and Doctor Strange and Howard the Duck is there. You probably didn't catch him, but he is there. Almost every single Marvel hero. Hope. I know you were waiting for the Wasp to show up. She was there. You know, we got Drax. We got just everyone you could hope for is there, ready to take on. The army of Wakanda is there.
Right.
M'Baku is there. They're all, I mean, this is it. This is what we've been building up to for 22 movies.
Here it is. Finally.
Is every
They all
single
have to
one of
walk
the
in
Avengers.
and pose before
Yep.
we move on
Hell
to the
yeah.
next.
They're getting ready for battle. And then it zooms in on Captain America as he takes Mjolnir in hand. And the line we've been
Fucking
waiting
says
for
it,
for
dude.
22 movies.
Yep.
Avengers assemble.
Which is like redundant because they're already assembled.
They're already assembled.
It doesn't.
Also, who's he
doesn't.
saying it to?
Yeah.
He's saying it to you, Dan. That's who he's saying
Yeah,
it
to me personally, and I said thanks, Chris Evans.
Not good.
and
Don't like
he heard-
it.
Oh my god, that was the best. It was so good. And then they all start running, and then we see the side view of like 60 Marvel characters all running at it, and it's this crazy view, and it's Ant-Man in the back in super giant form, and it's just and it's the Avengers music. Da, 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 da,
Actually,
da, da,
I've mentioned this
da.
YouTuber before on the podcast, but there's a YouTuber called Sideways who does music. Music analysis for like films. He has a really interesting one about this scene. And about like how every time a new portal opens, it changes key, and like the number of times the key changes is significant because it's the number of infinity stones that are in the gauntlet. It's a cool video.
Yeah, which man, so good. This is where the fight starts, the all-out war. We see a few moments peppered out through this, which is one Drax stabbing the back of that monster a whole bunch of times, so we get a little Drax moment there.
Yep.
And then we get the Pepper and Tony moment, Rescue and Iron Man fighting back to back, side by side. And then we see Thor and Cap talking about the two hammers, and they, he ends up with Stormbreaker, and they have to swap. He says, "You get the small one." And then they keep fighting.
Yep.
And then we get Spider-Man and Tony reuniting in the middle of the battlefield here.
Yep.
And they got to wrap the story with Peter before Tony makes his final move. So
I know, yeah. Well, and that's the thing, because I'm like, bro, you do not want to hug Peter Parker.
Full
You don't
circle.
want to, like, you really don't want to, like, close shit off with your dad, but the minute that you hug Peter, it's like, because that was the picture that you saw in the first act, and now he's alive again, and now you're hugging him. It's not good, dude.
And remember in the Spider-Man movie, in the car, he leans over to open the door. Peter thinks he's hugging him.
But,
right?
He's like, we're not
Full
there
circle.
yet. But now they are.
And now they are, and it's the last thing Tony's ever going to do.
This is it.
Uh-oh.
We also see Peter Quill gets to see past Gamora, and Gamora kicks him in the nuts twice. First time she missed, second time she got them both.
And then also,
because that Gamora doesn't know Peter.
Also, I kind of think it's like funny because like Hawkeye has like the gauntlet and he's like flipping around and like everybody's like trying to like take shit away from him. He's like, do. And then Black Panther's like, Clint, give it to me.
Yep.
And he gives it to him, and then Black Panther loses it like 10 seconds afterwards, which is just funny because it's like Clint was doing just fine. Like he was just, he's just been like good, and then Black Panther just fucking like can't hold on to this fucking thing. Like what the fuck?
But also
Clint
the entire
should've just had
army
it.
is being how much longer would Hawkeye really have had it with the whole army coming after him?
No. I'm just saying he was doing fine until he gave it to Black Panther, and then they fucking lose it like immediately.
Well, they do know now at this point that they need to return the stones. That's the only option they have. But their quantum tunnel was destroyed. Guess what? It wasn't their only time machine, though. And we get the in the middle of the battlefield. Somehow the van survived.
Pretty cool.
And so they need to get the glove. And Tony looks over to Doctor Strange at this point and says, 1 out of 14 million. Is this it? He says, if I told you, it won't happen.
Yeah.
And so they're going to continue down the path. Spider-Man gets the gauntlet from Black Panther and uses instant kill to take out all of the enemies that are coming after him.
Right.
Which is one of those modes we learned about in Homecoming.
It's all the threads coming together now. Isn't this all exciting?
Well, and now Wanda's going to get her moment to confront Thanos, saying, you've taken everything.
You took everything from me. I
don't even know who you are. Which is another meme format.
That's
right
like
there.
a turbo meme. That meme still persists. And
yeah, that's a big one.
That I've seen the scene, gotta say, I expected more because this meme has just been hyped up for so long.
Wanda straight up almost kills Thanos.
But then she doesn't.
Like, this is a big
But she
moment.
doesn't. She's incapable of doing
She
it.
almost does.
And she has like a psychotic break and then makes a TV show starring herself.
That's not what happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of what happens.
What does happen is Thanos says rain fire.
Right.
And that's where they're going to use the ship to just blast his army and the Avengers.
And then Ebony Maw is like, but sire, our troops. And
Yeah.
showing
He's like, I don't give a
Thanos.
shit.
Does not give a damn about those trees. He doesn't
Nope.
care at all. He doesn't give a fucking hoot.
Not at all. And so at this time, they all the magicians, I guess the wizards, put up force fields, and then there's about to be a giant flood, and so Doctor Strange holds back all this water, creating like a tsunami that is being held in place so that the entire army and Avengers don't drown underwater.
Right.
And so this is where the firing stops out of nowhere. What's happening?
Oh my
I have
God.
no idea.
But
You know what it is?
would you believe me if I told you it's that dang Danvers back for round 2?
Oh yeah, baby.
boy.
It's Captain Marvel, and she destroys Thanos' ship, which, hey, she can do. She does it in the Captain Marvel movie too. So
Yeah.
hey, makes sense.
So why not?
It all equals out. Yeah. And so she destroys the ship. Here's another. So Spider-Man's on the ground with the gauntlet. Captain Marvel shows up, says,
Right. This
Hey.
is like the only personality scene we really get from her.
yeah, exactly.
And it's like not that
It's-
interesting.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Peter Parker, I heard that you have something for me.
Right.
And then takes the gauntlet, and okay,
Right. And then
okay.
Okay.
This is the women empowerment
we get the
moment
we
of
get
the
the
movie.
we get the girl
But
power scene, right?
Here's the thing. I get it, and that's good. I mean, the scene's fine, but the
Okay.
problem is
Okay,
the
hold
way
on,
they
Dan.
set it up.
Dan, before you keep going, I just want to remind you this is a progressive podcast.
Yes.
So
In the
you're
year
treading on some very
2023.
thin
I think that
ice
no,
right now.
no. I think the scene should happen, but the way that it happened was almost taking it in a non-progressive way.
Right, because there's too many women in it, is what you're saying.
No.
Oh, okay.
What I'm
Oh, all
saying
right.
is
shoot,
Peter
sorry.
says, yeah, here, but I don't know how you're going to get through that whole army. Captain Marvel just blew up Thanos' ship
Totally.
with no effort in any way, shape, or form,
Right.
and you think that she's going to have a problem getting through a crowd of, like, shitty monsters?
Right, like she could have just gone and done all this stuff without the
she could have
exposition.
just. So my point is like, keep that scene, but like, there has to be a better setup than saying Captain Marvel couldn't just get through these like fucking weird ass non-intelligent monsters to get to
Yeah.
the van. You know what I mean? So, anyways, that was the only thing I'll call out there. But yes, we get every single.
It's just funny, like
woman character.
I just have to imagine someone with like a checklist while they were making this scene, being like, "All right, so we have Spider-Man, Thor, all the Avengers, blah blah blah," and they're like, "Oh, are we missing anyone?" They gotta look down. Oh, we missed Valkyrie. We gotta have a scene with Valkyrie. So they put a
Yeah.
scene with Valkyrie saving Spider-Man. It's just like, bro, it's just too
Yeah.
much.
Too much, dude.
Well, everyone got a moment at least, so that was good. And so right before Captain Marvel's, which by the way, Captain Marvel just bringing the gauntlet through the quantum tunnel wouldn't be enough. Like they'd have to, she doesn't have a time-space GPS on her. Like what would be the plan exactly if she went through the tunnel with the gauntlet? Kind of unclear what that would happen, but anyways, before
were just
she can
winging
get to
it.
yeah, before she could get to it anyways, Thanos throws his sword into the van and destroys the quantum tunnel. And so they didn't have a chance to get it out of there anyways. So now they're trying to defeat Thanos because he's able to get the gauntlet in his hand. He's trying to put it on. Thor comes up and uses both hammers to try to take him down. He gets knocked out. Iron Man goes up, tries to get him down. Can't. He gets knocked over. Captain Marvel is probably the closest to taking him out because Thanos headbutts her, and that doesn't do anything. She just like doesn't react until he pulls the Power Stone off and punches her with
Right.
the Power Stone.
He goes flying.
And as this is happening, Tony looks at Doctor Strange, almost looking for an acknowledgement of like, I know what I'm gonna have to do, but is this it? And he holds up his finger representing one, as in this is the one way this is going to happen.
Whoa, bro. That's pretty
And Tony
fucking
then at that
emotional,
moment-
dude.
He knows what he has to do. So Tony tries again. He gets thrown back on the ground, and Thanos gets the glove on, and he says, "I am inevitable." Snap.
Right.
Oh,
But nothing.
it didn't work. Oh my god.
And so in my notes, by the way, verbatim,
Yes. Uh-huh.
I just want to say I wrote down, and I am, don't say Iron Man, don't say Iron Man, don't say Iron Man.
By the way,
Yeah.
I can hear your Roomba, and I just saw it pass behind you.
Yeah.
So,
I
just-
do have a Roomba.
Just for the fans, letting
Right.
you know, that is the Roomba. And by the way, it's a really good Roomba. I just got one myself, and I really enjoy it.
It's a nice classic Roomba.
Yeah, I just thought that was funny seeing
Like
it
Roomba
go
guys.
behind. Yeah, there it goes. Look
There
at.
it goes. Look at it.
Anyways, yes. By the way, this wasn't the original moment. They didn't when they shot it originally. It was just Iron Man. He got the gauntlet. They showed it, all the stones, and then he just snapped.
Dude,
and
what the
that was
fuck?
it.
Like, seriously?
They
That's way
thought of
cooler.
this scene like 3 weeks after they were done shooting the movie, and they thought of this, and they got Robert Downey Jr. to come back. He literally just sat on a green screen stage and reshot that scene.
Dude, fuck the fuck off, dude. It would be so much cooler. That is baffling to me.
Come
They had to
on,
milk
it's
it.
full circle. It's fan service.
No,
it's
but it's
exactly
like-
what they would do.
No, but it's like, yeah, it is exactly what they would do, which is why it sucks. You know, it's
Okay.
like because him just grabbing it and without a moment's hesitation, understanding what needs to happen, just snapping, saving the world, and like, you know, just quick, like that's like the hero's journey. You know what I mean? Him with enough time to like get a snappy ass one-liner out there. It's like that's like cheeseball Marvel bullshit. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's $2.8 billion worth of cheeseball
You
Marvel
see,
moment.
you always like reference
I'm
like
just- hey, I'm
2.8
just
billion
saying.
as
I'm just
if
saying.
it matters.
It
but
does
it
matter.
doesn't.
It does.
Because that scene would have been cooler if he had just snapped. Because I
There-
feel like when you can leave, like artistically, when you can leave like a little bit up to the interpretation of the audience, it's just more interesting than like just being spoon
For
fed
you.
everything.
For you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. For me, I suppose, but you know, maybe
Yeah.
not for like children or people,
Okay,
you know,
alright.
Or people
whatever.
with
Maybe
the
they
intellectual
like
capacity of children.
of children. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they
Okay,
want
well-
to always be spoon fed, but.
You know what'd be really funny is if he gets like all the stones and he got it in his hand, and Doctor Strange is like one. He puts up his one finger, and Tony goes to snap, and he's like, wait, no, that's not what I meant.
Stop.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Sure, yeah. That would have been funny until what would be the alternate? Like, oh,
Well,
give
then
it back
Thanos
to
just
Hulk and
wins.
kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
No,
so.
just keep it
Yeah.
away from Thanos. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's it. Thanos' army begins to be dusted, and then finally Thanos gets dusted, and that's it. They're all dead.
Yeah.
And at this point, we catch up now with Tony, and Tony is destroyed. I mean, half of his face on the side where he snapped is completely charred, and he can't really talk or say anything, and he falls to the ground, and Peter has his emotional moment with him.
Which I thought, if I was writing this scene, I thought it would have been way cooler if Tony Stark looks up at Peter and says, Peter, now I'm the one who doesn't feel so good. And then he dies.
That's okay. If he would have said that, you would have been sitting here right now going, cheeseball Marvel shit. I hate this movie. So
That's a
this
really
time he
good
doesn't
impression
say
of me, yeah.
anything. It's not being spoon fed, but now you're mad that he didn't say it.
Yeah, okay. Again, I hate to have to pull up the veil.
I know,
that's,
you're kidding.
That's
Yes,
dumb. That's not,
yes.
it's not
Yes, of
actually
course.
what I believe.
Now, when this came out, nobody knew whether they were actually going to kill Iron Man, Captain America, who they were going to kill, who was going to die, any of that stuff. People were like shocked when Iron Man was killed at this moment.
Yeah, but not
and
Natasha.
No, nobody
cared.
no,
No.
because she can't have babies.
Yeah,
so
she's a fucking monster. Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ. So they have their final moments here, and then obviously your favorite line of the entire movie, Pepper goes up to Tony and says, "Now you can rest."
Yep.
And so Tony is dead.
Which
That's
is, in case you missed it, a reference
Yeah,
to
of
that
course.
cool line
Yep.
that we got. Yeah, I was, oh man.
Now we're getting a little montage here with the Tony voiceover. Hawkeye makes it back home to his family. Thank goodness. We were
Yep.
so concerned. Peter's back at school with Ned. Ant-Man is reunited with Hope and Cassie.
Which I think it's kind of funny that like all these dusted people are like all emotional. Because it's like, I mean,
because no time passed.
no time passed at all from their perspective. So you have this
But-
scene of like these people like sobbing and like hugging
But
each
the
other. and shit.
emotion there is that for 5 years, the rest of their family and friends who did survive have aged up without them, essentially missing that part of their lives, right?
guess.
So
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they wouldn't have
so
had the
that's
time
something.
for it to like
Yeah, but
hit
it's like-
emotionally.
Yeah, for them, yeah, they're just kind of like, they're like, oh, it's like 5 years later. And it's like, hey, what's up, Peter? You know, you would be like,
Also, like, why is the first time that they're seeing each other in school?
yeah,
Like
it's
they
a
just
little
got
weird
undusted,
too, yeah?
and they're like, "Well, back to
And
then went
seventh
to
grade,
school.
guys."
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
Also, the child actor, by the way, shout outs to John's I Hate Child Actor now corner, that is Tony's
daughter
kid,
Morgan.
daughter. Not a very good child actor.
No, not a very
in
good
this
child
moment,
actor.
when they're watching the hologram of Tony, you know, she looks scared when the emotion that she's supposed to be conveying is an emotion of like sadness, but
it
she
is
do-
also
she
a
doesn't have
little.
the range. She doesn't have
It
the
also
range.
is a little scary though,
doesn't
like
have the
a
range.
full It's a
Nope.
full hologram of Tony, like after Tony's dead. It's
See,
a little scary.
I agree with you, but I don't think that's what they were going for. I think that they were like,
No,
"You're
it
really
is. It's
sad,"
exactly
and
it.
so for her, she was like, "Ah."
No, it's
'Cause
exactly
that's the
it.
only
That's
way
why
she
she
can
did
convey
such a good
sadness.
job.
Mark completely.
She just missed the mark. She doesn't
Yeah,
have good
yeah.
range. Yeah, she's not going anywhere in Hollywood. I'm gonna make sure that she never works
Okay.
in this town again.
Yeah, I
You'll
bet.
be
That's
happy
all
to
it
know
Harass
is.
her.
that the actor
Harass
for-
her on Instagram. That's what I'd say.
You'll be
Me
happy to know
personally.
that the actor for Cassie, the younger one in Ant-Man 1 and 2,
Yeah.
has her own movie now. It's coming out soon.
Called.
I don't remember. I didn't care enough to get the title. I saw a trailer
Wait,
for it though.
is it an MCU thing?
No, it's completely different.
Did you know that there's a missing deleted scene from right before the funeral where Tony or right before he dies in the battlefield, where Tony is in the in-between zone where the Soul Stone was there, where Thanos talks to young Gamora?
Yeah.
There is a scene that they deleted from this movie where Iron Man talks to his grown-up Morgan daughter, where the actress from 13 Reasons Why, the main actress from 13 Reasons Why, plays a grown-up Morgan.
Fuck yeah. Dude, that
and
was
talks
such
to
a good
Tony.
show, by the way. Did you ever watch that?
The first
Are you
season was
kidding?
13
really
Reasons
good,
Why?
and it
I can't
just
tell.
went all downhill after.
No, dude, no.
that.
Season one, no, it got better and better. No, I'm not kidding, but also it's it's obviously like a bad show.
It's a pretty intense show.
so
at
funny
certain
though.
times.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
like I've watched
so-
every
I don't know
dude.
if I'd
It
say
like
funny,
it's
but-
fucking dude.
Yeah,
it,
it's
it,
like
it just
actually
like
awful.
by the time you get to the third season, it's like so fucking gratuitous. Like it almost feels like I see kind of what they're going for is this like sort of like social justice thing, but it almost feels like it's like doing the opposite by like it's like it's just gotten to the point where it's like so fucking like just morbid because they keep having to
it
push
went
the
on
envelope.
way too long.
So
yeah.
funny, dude. Oh my god, I fucking love that. Anyway, we're at the end of this movie, but
Yeah,
like,
this is
go
it. We're at the funeral.
Yeah.
And the people you missed, Maria Hill, the kid from Iron Man 3 is there.
Right.
Aunt May is there. Michael Douglas is there. All the characters you were really looking for, but everybody is there at the funeral. And then we have the worst scene in the entire movie
Okay.
of Endgame, which is Happy sitting on the bench with Morgan saying that Tony loved cheeseburgers.
Your dad loved
Like-
cheeseburger. Dude, I also like the I gotta say I like the one where Clint is like fuck, he's talking to someone. Who the fuck is Clint talking to?
Wanda.
Wanda, yeah, where he's just like, I wish there was a way we could let her know that we won. Wanda's like, she knows. It's like, what?
But somehow
Excuse
Vision
me?
doesn't know, and then
Yeah.
you're gonna like turn into a
Yeah, I'm
psycho
like, yeah.
and
Right, I know. It's like, yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, you don't even, it's just, that's insane. What's
Yeah,
insane. And then,
yeah.
also the cheeseburger scene, that's so fucking stupid, dude.
I
This whole scene was
can't
just
even-
so dumb. And also, people
Well-
don't stand like that. Like,
Yeah.
in collective clusters based upon,
yeah,
like, their
by movie. That's how
appearances.
they stand. They say, hey, wait, we were in this movie. Let's stand
Yeah,
together.
okay, yeah, you guys go stand
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
this is the Black Panther line. This is the Captain America franchise. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Not
that's
good.
over with. Thor makes Valkyrie the Queen of Asgard as he's going to leave with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so Thor joins the Guardians on the ship, and this is where we kind of see that Thor and Peter Quill
Okay.
are going to have a bit of a rivalry with each
I've
other.
said one positive thing about this. I genuinely did not like this movie at all.
Oh, I
Truly
know.
to the core of
I
my
know.
being.
I know. Very aware.
But
But
post destroying the Infinity Stone Thanos, where he's like all like scarred up, it's kind of cool.
yeah.
The scene with Peter Quill and Thor actually funny. I actually
Yeah.
thought this was a funny scene, like,
Yeah.
which is crazy because my goodwill at this point was like
It's gone.
spent, like
Yeah.
fucking like none left in the reserve. I am fully ready, willing, and able to hate everything
Yeah.
I see on the
Sure.
and still the thing where it's just like. It's like, oh yeah, you're in charge. It's like
Yeah.
that whole thing. That was a funny exchange. I actually
was good.
legitimately, yeah.
And I want to point out
I
again
agree.
that Chris Pratt's giving the most Ludwig ass performance of his life in that scene as well.
This was great. This setup, and it doesn't go much further than this. It's addressed a bit in Thor: Love and Thunder, and then Thor essentially splits off from Guardians after that.
Word.
But yeah, anyways, that's a great scene. Now we're going to see that Cap is going to go return all the stones back to where they came from. He also, by the way, has to return Mjolnir, because remember, Mjolnir was stolen from Thor in 2014. So he's going to return Mjolnir as well. And this is where we get another reference back to the first Captain America movie. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone. How can I? You're taking all the stupid with you. That was from the first Cap movie. And then he goes and then doesn't return. Uh-oh, where'd Cap go? Turns out he's now an old guy on a bench.
Turns out he turned into Joe Biden. I was like, fuck.
Yep. And so Falcon walks up to old Cap here, and this is where they talk about the fact that Cap went to go have his own life, and that he's going to hand the shield over to Falcon, and Falcon will be the next Captain
and that
America.
scene is so fucking stupid. Just because like where he's like, oh yeah, that reminds me, I have something for you here, and Falcon's like, I don't know, man, like maybe that's and he's like, try it on, and he's like, and then he looks over at Bucky, and Bucky like, there's just like a random shot of Bucky silently like nodding, like. And then that's what convinces him to actually pick up the shield. It's like, okay, cool scene, guys. That's fucking cool. That's like so cool.
So let me break down some not talked about headcanon for you real
Okay,
quick.
yeah.
There's always been a question as to whether Bucky or Falcon would take over as Captain America once this all ended and Chris Evans was done. And the idea here is that Cap basically told Bucky that he's not only going to not come back, but that he's going to give the shield over to Falcon, and that he was kind of in agreement for that, and that Bucky, this is explored more in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that Bucky feels like he should never have even been considered as a replacement for Cap and all this other stuff. So that's dived into more in that TV show.
Okay.
But yeah, so like when he says, how can I, you're taking all this stupid with you, they're talking as if they're never going to see each other again. But Falcon doesn't have that same conversation because he thinks he's going to be back in 5 seconds after he returns all the stones.
Right.
So the idea is Bucky was already in the loop, already aware he wasn't going to come back, already aware that Cap was going to give him the shield. And that's why he nods, because it's like he's acknowledging to Falcon, like, I'm good with this. I think you should have the shield.
Okay.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Sure.
You're welcome. That
Hey,
just
fine,
put this
fuck it, why
movie a
not?
whole point up for you. I get it.
Right.
You're welcome.
I want to.
Yeah, thank
And
you so
then
much.
finally, we
I want to point out that
see a ring on his. Oh
I
yeah.
want to point out that Captain America was like moving around like an old dude, like typical old dude. When he's like a super soldier, and I just don't think it's realistic for him to be moving around like an old dude, especially since we saw an old dude, who is not as old as Steve Rogers is at this point, but in Falcon and Winter Soldier, who still has his like superpower, super strength.
Yeah, but he's double the age of what that old guy is.
Double the age? How old
Yeah.
is he?
Remember, because at the point of Captain America, he's 70 years old when he's unfrozen from the ice. And then Cap is going to travel back to where he first was, which is 70 years back in the past, to be with Peggy Carter, which means he's now 140 years old when we get to the bench.
He's 140 years old.
Based on that timeline, he's 140 years old.
But the stuff in the ice doesn't count towards him aging, though.
Does it not?
I don't think so. He's on ice. Have you ever seen Avatar? The Last Airbender?
Ooh, that's a good point. Okay, he's frozen,
Okay, well,
dude.
maybe. If not, then he's at least 100 because no. I would say he's probably at least 90, and that other old guy was like 65 or something, 70.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Anyways. All right, cool. Yeah, we see the ring on his finger. This is another meme right here, which is no, I don't think I will,
Yep.
which is the old Cap meme that
That's
ends
my
up all
most
over the
used
place.
meme, that one.
Yeah. And then we see the final scene, which is Cap and Peggy having their dance. Finally, after all these movies, Cap and Peggy have their dance, they kiss, and that's the end of the movie.
Wow. And thank
And that is
God that
Avengers
was the end of the movie
Endgame.
and that it didn't keep going.
And there were no post-credit scenes,
Which
nothing.
was fine.
This was it.
It's fine with me. All right.
And that
Can I
is
get- can I
three
get-
phases of
Can I
the
get-
MCU.
Hour 3.
Hold on.
Hour
Can I get
3.
some air horns?
Of course.
We need the hour 3 Allison wrap up.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Can I get some air horns? Or did air horns happen? I didn't hear them.
I did, and you talked over them,
Let's hear
so
them.
go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Hey, welcome back to Allison's Thoughts Part 3, Hour 3. All right, the final word from Allison. Here.
Sure.
All right, she had things to say. I wrote them down verbatim.
Okay.
Here it is. Okay. During that final battle, I have to say the whole time it felt glaringly obvious that no one who wasn't a Marvel superfan was ever intended to make it this far in the series, especially that part at the funeral. That's all I could think about. I was never supposed to see this. I had a few existential moments where I thought to myself, wow, how did I get here? I feel like essentially there was probably a lot of oh shit moments for people who love this shit. That wasn't very good. I wish I went to the gym instead and that it was an hour shorter. Okay, I'm done. I gotta go pee now.
My favorite Allison Thoughts
yes.
segment.
There
So
you
You
go.
know what? You know what? She's not wrong. You have to watch 22 movies to
Yeah.
get to this point.
Good
So
to-
yeah, it is for a very specific group of people.
Yep, very niche.
And that group of people spent $2.8 billion to watch
true.
it in movie theaters, and I think it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I can
Great.
say definitively, I will never watch another piece of Marvel property again for as long as I live if I can avoid it.
I don't think that's true, but we'll see. Anyways, but you will watch Daredevil, the new TV series.
I don't think I will, dude. I gotta
think you
say,
might.
after a year, I am so fucking. I was already burnt out on Marvel shit before this. There's been like, just imagine like spending a year of your life and see, like, the thing is, like, you know, and I think we've all been pretty good sports about this, all told, like, legit. But I gotta say, from my perspective, I've dedicated so much time to just this like negativity. It's just like this shit I know I'm not gonna like, and then I'm just like fucking. So I think that, you know what, even if Vincent D'Onofrio is in a new Daredevil thing, I think I might just skip it. I think I might just focus on things that I like from here on out and just let the Marvel universe exist without me watching it.
Okay, well, there you go.
There you go.
Hey, I think we all know how we felt about this movie.
Yeah.
But I'd be interested to know what your rating is, and I'm gonna guess. Ready?
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna guess that you're gonna rate it a 2 out of 10.
You know what? That's exactly what I was going to rate it. Yeah, it's
I knew.
legit.
I mean, I knew.
Nice and easy. I mean, it like I don't know, I just didn't like. The thing is, like, yeah, it's obviously like, I mean, it like it really is a 1, right? It is, but it can't be, because it's like it's too. That just seems mean. It seems rude to give this movie a 1, so I'll give it a 2 instead. But I didn't like it. There you go. That's my official review. This was like, again, and you know what's actually funny? Is that something that John said all the way in the beginning actually came to fruition. It happened. All the way. And I remembered you saying this because, you know, you said it and I was interested to see whether or not you would be right, and you were, which is that you were like, I bet that Christian will be like on board to varying degrees until Infinity War, which he's really going to like, but he will wish that that's where it had ended, and past that, he's not going to enjoy it very much.
For sure.
And you were completely 100% on the fucking ball. I think Infinity War, like, my wrap up of this is like all the shit that like Dan is talking about right now, and I like, this isn't even like a dunk or me being funny. Like I mean this like seriously. It's like, so all the shit where you're like, okay, all the loose ends are getting tied up, and that's like cool to you, and that's all happening in Endgame. I think that was already my experience of Infinity War, or it was like, that was like the moment to me where all the loose threads were like all coming together and sort of like wrapping themselves up into like sort of a final thing. And it was like interesting, and the ramifications were interesting, and like the universe was interesting, and where are they going to go from here? That's interesting. But it turns out that where are they going to go from here is they're just going to like retcon the shit ever really having happened, other than the fact that Captain America's old now and there's no Tony Stark, you know, or I guess Black Widow, you know. But it's just kind of like, I feel like we already did it. You know, it's like we already did the thing that Endgame is trying to do. It already happened for me in Infinity War. So now you're just doing it again, but erasing all the parts I liked about Infinity War. So, and that was kind of what Endgame was to me.
To be fair, my prediction was not a very hard prediction to make. So
Sure, that's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would give this a
8.
9 out of 10.
9? A 9? You gotta explain yourself, dude. Why a 9?
I loved it.
Like a 10 is like a perfect movie.
I think if I'm looking at 22 movies, all of this build up,
You're not. You're looking at
bringing
this movie.
all the characters into one place, all the fan service, all the moments, all the characters, the way that they kill off Tony, the way they just organized it, the way they got all the people in it, just the story, the final fight, the Avengers assemble, the Cap with Mjolnir, it was a great ending to Phase 3 and to the first 3 phases of the MCU. I thought that Thanos was handled well. I thought that the bringing together of the Infinity Stones over the course of like 10 years of movies, just bringing it all to one place with one giant epic battle to end it all off and wrap up this 3-phase story was great. I enjoyed it. I had a great time watching it in the theater, and then I also had a great time watching it again. The theater experience was the best theater experience I've ever had in regards to sharing a movie experience with a bunch of other people. Like that was just, there's nothing that will ever meet that threshold. That event in culture was just like so big and so like important to movies and things like that, that there, I just don't ever see a movie having that kind of reaction in a theater with a group of people ever again, which is a cool thing to be a part of. So I will always have good memories associated with this movie. And on top of that, I thought the movie was really great. So there you go.
There we go.
John,
I think
take us
you're
away.
wrong, by the way, because
I know.
like people had that type of reaction to like Star Wars, the original Star Wars.
I don't think it was that big for Star Wars. I'll tell you why. Because back in the day, I don't think people were as invested at such a large scale in Star Wars when the movies were actually good. And then the new trilogy was definitely not good enough to get a reaction out of the crowds like that. So
Yeah,
I
I know that it's like, hey, we're not supposed to interrupt each other here, but hey, here I go. I will say I actually gotta like agree with Dan on this point where it's like, yeah, when like Star Wars like was like niche nerd shove you into a locker bullshit, you know, like it like that then got popular later. Whereas by the time Endgame came out, it was like this was already like normie tier, like pop culture, like you know what. So this was always going to be bigger, you know.
yeah.
Okay,
So anyway,
sure. I don't think it won't happen again in the future, but I guess we'll see what happens. This movie was, oh man, yeah. There's not much more I could say past what you guys said. It really was the experience to have in theaters, but watching it on my ultra wide monitor at 2K resolution. Unfortunately, it wasn't 4K. You know, IMAX version. It did not hit the same way it did in theaters, obviously, for obvious reasons. And also like as a movie on its own, oh god, it is bad. Like none of it really matters unless you watch everything else, and it barely has substance on its own. Also, I hate like the time travel thing. Like it could have easily been any other type of movie, but they chose to make it a time travel movie for some reason. Didn't like that. I don't know. I already admitted to you guys that I stopped watching like halfway through the movie to play Marvel Snap because I was just bored and couldn't like pay attention to the time travel stuff anymore. So yeah, I don't know. I refuse to give this movie a rating. Scorsese was right. It's not cinema. GG's.
okay.
Woo!
Well,
All
there we
right,
go.
dude. Yeah, well,
That
hey,
is the final
that's it.
MCU movie.
Yep.
We've got 3 more episodes coming
Yep.
your way. We got a Phase 3 recap.
Yep.
We have a bonus episode and then a bonus episode.
Yep. So phase 3 bonus app, and oh boy, those bonus apps, you're gonna want to make sure you tune into those. That's all I have
of
to
course.
say on the
I'm
matter.
sure they're going to
And
be
then
great.
also, hey, Dan, go read Blood Meridian.
Yeah, when I'm done with The Last of Us.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
And then when I'm done
fair.
with Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And then when I'm... Okay.
No, I know. Yeah, I sent fucking John a copy of Blood Meridian. 'Cause I was like, you have to read. How are you gonna? You're gonna look at that book every day, and you're gonna be like, oh yeah, Christian wanted me to read this.
All right. Well,
Yep.
thanks for sticking around for the longest episode of Cape Shit
Ever. And literally, we'll never do another one this long again. And I don't even know what I'm gonna do with all of the fucking free time I'm about to have, not watching
yeah.
Marvel
That's
movies and
true.
editing a fucking podcast.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening.
listening.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.